All right. Mike T, step down.
Tomlin is fresh off a 30-6 loss to the Texans in the wild card round of the playoffs and is stepping down as head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Tomlin's 19 seasons in Pittsburgh, where he stepped away as the NFL's longest tenured head coach.
The Pittsburgh Steelers are going to have to find a new identity. Since Chuck Noll took over that franchise over 5 decades ago, the Steelers have only had 3 head coaches. 3: Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, and Mike Tomlin. That's it. While other teams were cycling through coaches like they were going out of style, Pittsburgh just stayed loyal. They found their guy and they stuck with him. But after 19 years, after 193 regular season wins, after never once having a losing season, Mike Tomlin just walked into a team meeting and told his players that he's stepping away from coaching.
Hey, drop that after this, baller. What'd you say about him? So I think Tomlin would have got fired anyways. I think this was him getting fired. They told him they wanted to go into a different direction. But instead of firing him, because again, he's been with the organization for 19 years, they didn't fire him. They let him stay on payroll. They're still going to pay him. He's still technically a part of the organization, but he's just not the head coach anymore. So, I think this is like him being relieved of his job without getting fired, so he still gets paid. And, it still looks smooth. So.
And look, I know a lot of Steelers fans have
I think it's all love
for
there.
a while now. 7 straight playoff losses will do that. But whether you love him or hate him, this is the end of an era that we're probably never going to see again in professional sports. And what's wild is the way that this all went down on Monday night against the Texans might have been the most fitting end to the Tomlin era imaginable. We were able to leverage PrizePicks' wildcard promos to make a ton of money during wildcard weekend. And now I'm going to run back those same exact plays so we can make even more money. First, to sign up for PrizePicks, use my promo code microphone and get $50 when you make a play of $5 or more. And then tail this pick. For the Rams matchup versus the Chicago Bears, I have Puka Nacua getting at least 1 touchdown, and I have Colston Loveland getting 5 receptions. This should easily hit, turning our $50.
Shout out to Mike. Hope you get his coins.
Sponsoring today's video. So it's Monday Night Football. The Steelers are hosting the Houston Texans in the wild card round of the playoffs. And Pittsburgh is actually favored at home. They just clinched the AFC North on a missed field.
The Steelers were favored in this game?
Field goal by the Ravens in Week 18. Aaron Rodgers threw a game-winning touchdown to Calvin Austin with less than a minute left against Baltimore. The energy was high. This was supposed to be the year that Pittsburgh finally
versus Baltimore.
through. But Houston came into this game riding a 9-game winning streak. 9 straight wins. Their defense was ranked number 1 in the entire NFL, allowing just 17.4 points per game. Danielle Hunter had 15 sacks on the season, and this unit was hungry for respect. So when the game kicked off, it was pretty ugly. At the end of the first quarter, Pittsburgh was actually winning 3-0. That might not sound like much, but consider this. In their previous 6 playoff losses, the Steelers had been outscored 73-0 in the first quarter combined.
Wow.
So being up 3-0 after 1, that's actually progress. But then the game turned into exactly what Houston wanted, a rock fight, a defensive slugfest where every yard felt like it was earned in blood. And that's when the cracks in Pittsburgh's game plan started to show. Now, Mike Tomlin doesn't call every play for Pittsburgh, but he does call plays situationally, and he always has the final say. And I want to show you why this change was probably necessary. So I'm going to show you a few plays from Pittsburgh's wildcard game against Houston to show you why it was time for the Pittsburgh Steelers to make a change.
So he does call
With
plays
the Texans
sometimes.
starting this drive from their own 10-yard line, Pittsburgh put some pressure on Houston early, forcing them to a 3rd and 5 from their own 15-yard line. This is a huge moment. If Pittsburgh gets a stop here, they get phenomenal field position on the ensuing drive, putting them in prime position to score first. With Houston almost forced to pass on this play, Pittsburgh lines up with 6 defenders in the box, showing heavy pressure on 3rd down. This is exactly what they should do. Creating pressure is the most effective way to.
Yeah, I saw Gabe and Shavers toward the ACLs. I seen that. It's very unfortunate, but hey, at least you got Josh Allen. CJ played the worst I've seen him play in a while. Hopefully not versus the Pats. I mean, honestly, even if he plays mid, because he didn't play terrible. It just wasn't good. But even if he plays mid, I think our defense could still win us a game. I mean, we'll see.
force an incompletion, especially on third down. So this is a no-brainer decision. But here's where it gets a little weird. Once the ball is snapped,
Even they said,
you see all 6 Steelers box defenders start to blitz. But one by one, they start to back off. First is
Stroud had 5 fumbles yesterday. He fumbled the ball 5 times. When did this happen? What the heck?
We saw Charlie Kirk catch 8 receptions for 100.
Oh my gosh.
44 yards.
Yeah.
We saw
Christian Kirk.
I'm sorry. I apologize. Oh my God, Christian Kirk.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Interesting. When did CJ fumble 5 times? Shavers towards some I played. That's crazy. Stroud fumbles so much. I need to see that. I don't recall that. Are they putting the bad snaps on him as fumbles?
it's Cam Hayward, arguably.
I'm not. I mean, I'm not taking that serious. Like that. Like that's not literally him fumbling. Like that's miscommunication with the center.
The one guy who shouldn't be in pass coverage on third down. Shortly after, Keanu Benton follows suit, playing spy on CJ Stroud, even though Stroud can easily outrun him. So now you've got 4 people rushing the quarterback on an obvious passing down, and a disadvantage in the second level with 2 defensive tackles in zone coverage or spy defense. As for the 4 Steelers who did rush, only one got through the line. That was Patrick Queen after a stunt left on left guard, Titus Howard with nobody to block. But Houston was already anticipating pressure. They had Nick Chubb ready to pick up any free rushers, which is exactly what he does with Queen. This gives CJ Stroud more than enough time to step up in the pocket after his tackles form a beautiful pocket 7 yards back, and sling this rock way past the sticks to Christian Kirk 36 yards down the field, who was found perfectly in between 2 zones in Pittsburgh's undermanned cover 2 defense. Not only did this stunt create 0 pressure, but it also left the second and third levels with much more responsibility down the field, and it not only kept the Texans' drive going, but took them from their own 15 all the way down to their own 46-yard line. And
that is factual. Like sometimes when you're blitzing too much and a team adjusts, especially when they can create a nice quick game, the fact that he got the deep pass off is pretty impressive. But again, it gets to a point where you just need to play base defense and stop blitzing so much. Now, again, I don't know if that was an issue all game, but I'm gonna let Mike finish.
One quick swoop. And this is the thing that has been driving Steelers fans crazy for years. The game plan wasn't adapting. The scheme wasn't evolving. The next play I'm going to show you is from late in the third quarter in a very similar situation to the first play. And you may even get deja vu seeing this. This play starts once again deep in Steelers territory, with the Texans lining up at their own 18-yard line in a 3rd and 15 situation. Houston once again lines up in a tight formation, with 3 receivers to one side and 1 receiver to another. But this time they have a tight end on the field, making this more of a tight trips formation as opposed to a tight bunch formation. Why, you ask? Well, there are 2 reasons. One, the last time Houston was in this exact predicament, Pittsburgh stunted blitz and it didn't work. So surely they actually bring pressure this time. Second, it's 3rd and long, not 3rd and short. That's even more of a reason for Pittsburgh to bring pressure. They brought out a tight end instead of a wide receiver so that they could get extra blocking and hope that they can create just enough time for CJ Stroud in the backfield to find an open man and make a play. The thing is though, Pittsburgh brings a much simpler look here. They still have 6 guys in the box, just like the last play. But pre-snap, it doesn't look like there will be as much pressure as the formation they lined up in the last play. And this is proved correct when Houston snaps the ball, and 1 man drops back into coverage, while 5 men rush the quarterback. But Patrick Queen, on the outside this time, isn't actually rushing. He's stunting a rush to create a tiny bit of pressure while he expects the running back to break free from the backfield, which is likely considering the extra blocker Houston has on the field. And like deja vu, it happens again, and this time in an even more blitz-heavy situation. Pittsburgh only rushes 4, leaving Stroud with far too much time in the backfield. I mean, they literally have 7 guys blocking, with both Woody Marks and Dalton Schultz making sure to block their matchup before breaking out into their route, leaving room for double teams everywhere. This results in Houston only having 4 routes that go past the sticks, but that isn't a problem because Mike Tomlin's game plan is predictable. Pre-snap, Houston came out with different personnel than they did on the last before breaking out into their route, leaving room for double teams everywhere. This results in Houston only having 4 routes that go past the sticks, but that isn't a problem because Mike Tomlin's game plan is predictable. Pre-snap, Houston came out with different personnel than they did on the last play, with Christian Kirk lining up as the lone receiver on the weak side of the field instead of bunched up like he was on the first play, throwing out a different look to try to throw off Mike Tomlin's defense. But all in all, they were looking to do the exact same thing. After Stroud steps up in what ends up being yet another beautiful pocket, he slings the ball downfield yet again to Christian Kirk, who just so happens to find himself in between the two same cover 2 zones as he did on the first play, gaining 46 yards on this play and giving Houston a huge play at this point of the game. The Texans offensive coordinator Nick Caley took a chance on Mike Tomlin coming out in the same scheme as he did last time they were in this spot, and it paid off big time. Mike Tomlin got out-coached and downright outsmarted. The last play I'm going to show you is actually on the offensive side of the ball, and this play very well may go down in history as the very last snap of Aaron Rodgers' Hall of Fame career. On 4th and short, Pittsburgh is down 24-6 with less than 3 minutes to go, and is looking for a classic Aaron Rodgers drive to extend their season. Houston's defense has been dominating all night, so Pittsburgh is looking to switch it up.
He said classic. I mean, at this point, they down with 3 minutes. 3 timeouts. If they were to go down there and score, let's say they score 7, makes it 15 points. If they go for 2, 16 points, they still down. They would need a lot to happen in a very short span of time
Up and catch them off guard to at least extend the drive. And in only a few short seconds, the ball ends up being in the hands of Kalen Bullock, who ends up taking this back for 6, effectively ending the Pittsburgh Steelers season and potentially Aaron Rodgers' career. Why did this happen though? Well, if you take a look at the all-22 angle of this play, you'll see exactly where this went wrong. Pittsburgh called a freaking Madden play with their season on the line. All 4 receiving threats on this play ran some sort of streak down the field, but the problem with that is that Pat Freiermuth ran a double move, getting in the way of Calvin Austin's.
Yeah, that's tough. Like, for nobody to run anything inside is crazy. Like, it's just, you just congesting everything. Everybody route is near an additional defender. Again, and they go back to the play calling. Like I was saying last night, I can't really fault Aaron Rodgers for this loss. Like, the O-line didn't play great, but again, all season has been the play calling for the Steelers that has not been great.
Route, which is where Aaron Rodgers tried to force this ball. These 2 routes being so close
they call good
together
run plays,
made
but that's
it
about
super
it.
easy for Kalen Bullock to just step right in front of either route and pick this ball off. What I don't understand is why Pittsburgh didn't try to go for a short gain and just get the first down, which would have made this drive a whole lot easier. I mean, Houston is literally giving them the entire middle of the field. There's absolutely zero reason that this should be the play call or the game management decision from Tomlin in this situation. And personally, I think it's poetic that this is how Mike Tomlin's tenure in Pittsburgh ended. What made this situation so interesting is that in the post-game press conference, while fans were still chanting for Mike Tomlin's head, Aaron Rodgers stepped up and defended his coach, and he defended him hard.
Mike T has had more success than damn near anybody in the league for the last 19, 20 years. And more than that, though, when you have the right guy and the culture is right, you don't think about making a change. But there's a lot of pressure that comes from the outside, and obviously that sways decisions from time to time. But
now look, you can think of whatever you want about Aaron Rodgers as a person, but that right there, that tells you everything you need to know about how players felt about Tomlin in that locker room. Even Cam Hayward came to Tomlin's defense, saying he would want to play for him again. And this brings us to the legacy of Mike Tomlin, because love him or hate him, you have to respect what this man has accomplished. Tomlin was hired in
I'm still on the train that, like, I don't feel like he's a bad head coach overall. Like, I think he's a good head coach because, again, to put that many winning seasons together, even when you have bad offensive coordinators or even defensive coordinators, you're doing something right. But at the same time, you got to hit on your coordinators, and that I think that's just what got him up out of there, and provided a change. But if he would have had a good, good set of coordinators in there, that was a talented enough team to, make a reasonable run.
in 2007 at just 34 years old, replacing a legend in Bill Cowher who had just won a Super Bowl. The expectations were through the roof, and in his second
Texans
season,
head coach should be
Tomlin
Thomas for coach of the year.
He led the Steelers to a
He'd been there too long at this
27-23
point.
victory over the Arizona Cardinals in the Super Bowl, becoming the youngest head coach ever to win a Super Bowl at just 36 years old.
But,
he also became just the
I mean, it
third
wouldn't be a bad narrative.
African-American head coach to lead a team to a Super Bowl, following Tony Dungy and Lovie Smith. 2 years later, he took Pittsburgh back to the Super Bowl, though they lost to Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers 31-25. Think about that. In his first 4 seasons as a head coach, Mike Tomlin went to 2 Super Bowls. He won 7 division titles. He made the playoffs 12 times. He won 193-114-2 in the regular season, which is the second best record in the NFL during that span, behind only Andy Reid and Bill Belichick. He tied Chuck Noll for 9th all-time with 193 regular season wins, and most impressively, he never once had a losing season. 19 straight non-losing seasons to start a coaching career. That's an NFL record. Nobody has ever done that before. But here's the other side. Since that 2010 Super Bowl loss, Pittsburgh hasn't been back to the big game. Since 2016, they haven't won a single playoff game. 9 straight seasons without a playoff victory. And franchises that were once considered dysfunctional, teams like the Browns, Titans, Saints, and even Giants, have all won playoff games more recently than Pittsburgh. That's the
Better coach all time, Harbaugh for Tomlin. I mean, might have to go Tomlin, but you know, Harbaugh's still a good head coach.
Frustration, and that's what's eating at Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Regular season success is great, but at some point you have to win when it matters most, and for nearly a decade, Pittsburgh couldn't do that under Tomlin. For Mike Tomlin's situation, there's a variety of different paths that he could take. Mike Florio and Peter Schrager made it clear that there's a very successful TV gig awaiting him if he wants to make a boatload of money while talking about football. Diana Russini even recently tweeted that Mike Tomlin might be looking to coach in a place with warm weather. So maybe Miami just found its new head coach. But the real question is, where do the Steelers go from here? For the first time since 2007, they need to find a new head coach. And knowing the Rooneys, whoever they hire will probably be there for the next 15 to 20 years. That's just how Pittsburgh operates. They find their guy and they stick with them. So who are the candidates? Well, the name that keeps coming up is Brian Flores. Flores actually worked for Tomlin in 2022 as a senior defensive assistant and linebackers coach before turning the Minnesota Vikings into one of the best defensive units in the league. He has previous head coaching experience with the Dolphins. He's still only in his early 40s and he understands what Pittsburgh is all about. Another name that's been floated is Robert Saleh, who's been doing incredible work with the 49ers as their defensive coordinator after his rough stint with the Jets. There's even talk about Marcus Freeman potentially leaving Notre Dame for the NFL, and the Steelers head coaching experience with the Dolphins. He's still only in his early 40s and he understands
for
what
sure.
Pittsburgh is all about. Another name that's been floated is Robert Saleh, who's been doing incredible work with the 49ers.
Saleh to the Steelers, that'd be cool. Like I would, the Steelers would be a good situation because you would feel like you would have job security there. When they hire a coach, they keep that coach and they let that coach work. You know, you're not going to get fired after 1 season or after 2 seasons, you know. So that wouldn't be a terrible situation. And they already got defensive pieces, so that would be cool for Saleh. I think he gonna have the pick of the litter. It's gonna be interesting. It's clear he got carried by Big Ben. Look at his records after Ben. I mean, you can say that. That's fair to say. He got carried by Ben and those great defenses. But the thing is, for me, is without a quarterback like Big Ben, you still manage to have winning records. Like, I can commend that, you know. But he just had he just didn't do good picking coordinators. Like, his philosophy on football, I think, was just aged out. Like, he had a recipe to winning football, but he didn't have a recipe to championship football. But I think should become the Steelers' next head coach. I don't know. I mean, I would go with a defensive-minded head coach. Any one of the ones that's out there right now, honestly.
as their defensive coordinator after his rough stint with the Jets. There's even talk about Marcus Freeman potentially leaving Notre Dame for the NFL, and the Steelers reportedly vetted him as a potential Tomlin successor. And here's the wild card that nobody is talking about enough, but I just have to float it out here. John Harbaugh, how crazy would that be? The Ravens just fired him after 18 seasons, and he's already had 9 teams reach out to him about their head coaching vacancies. Could you imagine Harbaugh coaching the Steelers after all those years of rivalry with Tomlin? That would be the most Pittsburgh move ever. Regardless,
I don't know about Pittsburgh move, but it would be that it would be hilarious to see Stefanski, Harbaugh, and Tomlin all stay in the division, but a different team. They all just swap teams. That would be hilarious.
as we move forward, it's important to acknowledge what we just witnessed. We watched the end of an era that lasted 19 years. We watched a coach who won 193 regular season games, went to 2 Super Bowls, won one of them at 36 years old, and never had a losing season step away from the only franchise he ever coached. When Mike Tomlin was hired in 2007, George W. Bush was still president. The iPhone had just been released. YouTube was only 2 years old. That's how long this man has been with this franchise. And whether you think he stayed too long or left at the right time, you have to respect the fact that the Steelers gave him the chance to leave on his own terms. They didn't fire him. They haven't fired a coach since 1968. They let him walk into that team meeting and tell his players himself. That's class. That's the Steeler way. For the third time in 56 years, Pittsburgh will have a new head coach. The Tomlin era is over, and whatever comes next, one thing is certain. It won't be easy to fill those shoes, because love him or hate him, Mike Tomlin was one of one. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.
Again, I think the winning seasons are commendable, but again, you know, when we're talking about playoff football, championship football, you need more. In terms of staff, I think they've had really good rosters where, you know, I'm not going to say that, but they haven't had a good quarterback since Aaron Rodgers. And I think they kind of fumbled Kenny Pickett's development. Like I'm not saying Kenny Pickett was great coming out of college, but he had bad OCs there. So we don't know what his ceiling could have been.
Contract. So I don't know if that was he was getting fired, he's stepping down.
We're going to speed through these topics just because I don't want to make this video too long. But we got Mike Tomlin getting fired. We got his Tomlin, an all-time great. Aaron Rodgers, so this is very Steelers-based. Texans defense. Eagles fire Patullo. Can Caleb be a top quarterback? Can Josh Allen overcome whatever? And Sam Darnold something. All right, but we're gonna try to keep a nice pace. I'm not gonna watch the full segment of each one.
I don't know, but Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season.
It's okay. I don't like the soup that I can't. I don't remember what it was called. It looked appealing, but it's not my cup of tea. I wouldn't get that again. But I just wanted to try it, so I tried it. Didn't like it, but it's okay. I'm gonna finish it.
Season in his 19 years in Pittsburgh, which is pretty impressive, but he hasn't won a playoff game in 9 years. So, Jay, was it time to move on from Mike Tomlin?
Probably. I think when you lose your last 7 or 8 appearances by 20 points or less,
or more,
it seems to be about that time. We were at Cincinnati, me and Pack, and Marvin Lewis had that same reputation. He went to like 7 or 8 playoff games and win one, and finally it was time for him to go. Despite the regular season success, sometimes your message gets stale and you have to make a change. That's the way it is, pro football. But kudos to him for lasting 19 years in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Becoming a head coach and only lasted 5 years. I know how difficult it is to maintain a level of success and a standard that is consistently good. And that's what he was, very, very good. Now, he inherited a hell of a team. I mean, Bill Cowher left him with a Super Bowl winning team, and he was able to take Troy Polamalu and James Harrison and all the Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah.
You know, he's able to keep that level at a very high standard. But I think after 19 years, I think it's time for him. I think
Taylor, Ryan Clark,
TV for a year, take a little break,
James Ferrier,
chilling out, hanging out with his family, and maybe getting back into it. Wait for Andy Reid to retire, and then go take over the Kansas City Chiefs like he did with Cowher and the Steelers. You know what I'm saying?
Interesting. Yeah, I don't see that happening. Wishful thinking though, but I don't see that happening. Only again, for me, only place I can see Tomlin going is a team that needs a culture shift. You know, not a team that needs to win right now. It's just a team that's been bad for a while, and they need somebody to come in there and just, get the engine revved, like get the car running, They don't need to drive the car. They need to get the car. They need to get everything together, get the car running, and then they might get fired after they put that team together and built that team, or maybe they don't, but they need somewhere where it's like a fresh start, not something that's like super established already. Because and I think the only teams like that really are the Giants and the Titans. I think I think the Browns have a really good defense, and I think expectations will be high there. Sparks said Cardinals earlier. I don't know about the Cardinals as a franchise, but like realistically, that's not a bad destination either. Like it fits the criteria, but I just don't know. Like you don't have a young quarterback established there already. It's a lot of question marks, but I mean we could see. I mean, I don't know if I trust him picking quarterbacks. I would trust him going to the place that already has the young quarterback there, because he picked Kenny Pickett and just tried to ride that out, and it didn't hit. So, I would trust him with the situation that already got the young guy established, unless the Cardinals stick with Kyler Murray. But it don't really fit the criteria for me completely. The Dolphins, nah. The Dolphins don't need a complete, like they got pieces to where they're still competitive. So he would still have higher expectations there. He need to go somewhere where again him and Harbaugh need to go somewhere where the expectations are extremely minimal.
I feel that. I mean, I wouldn't rush if I were Mike Tomlin just to get another job. You know what I mean? I would wait, pick my spot, make sure I want to continue to do it, and then go from there.
Wow, that's okay. We'll wait on that, but go, Lee.
I think it was time for him to step down. 19 years, one chip. You said it, man. Shit gets stale, man. And you as a person, you feel like you failing. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, I keep going to the playoffs. I keep on losing. You just start to feel like you failing. So, hey, sit back, decompress. Hey, even do TV or not do TV, a fucking job too now. Yeah. You make it seem like TV is just a walk in the park. It's a fucking job. You got to study it, man. Just decompress all the way. Pockets ain't hurting at all.
Yeah.
Decompress all the way, take a year or two off, and like you said, find somebody who got a good core that you could come in and just be a general there, you know what I'm saying, with good coordinators. I think it definitely was time though, man. Yeah, you don't want to keep failing, and at some point you gotta pull the plug.
Yeah, when you think about it, there was a point where he still had a top 5 quarterback in Big Ben. He had the best running back in football and the best wide receiver in football. And you would say, most people would say, if you have that with a defense like he had, if you look at what was going on, a lot of people say he kind of underachieved with the rosters he had in that span. And a lot of that was on what he coached, which was defense. Yeah. So if that's continuing, and now we've gotten to this point, you just need to change the scenery. Everybody, like them, him, and, a breath of fresh air, get away from the game. Because like Lee said, it's a lot that goes into this game. Just as a player, but as coaches, game planning, we get to the end of the week and
Was it really his fault for AB and Le'Veon? That situation right there was tough, man. He apparently he was tolerating them for so long, and but I don't know, man.
Are still focused on this game. The coaches, they didn't already. All right, now we got to start prepping for it's just a lot that go into it.
Is this Pac-Man?
So, being in locker rooms and hearing coaches talk, it seemed like the team
step down, man.
It's so funny, like on the Arena Gridiron, and I think it's because they all new together. On the Arena Gridiron, and they have new people on here and there. Everybody waits and let each other talk and take their turns. On the Arena Basketball, they be interrupting each other. It feels very much like Speak Easy. Like the two feel like, and I think that's why I like it so much. It just feels like just, fellas, or just, friends chatting. But this is still cool. It's still cool. But, I got my preferences in terms of what I like the most.
All right, I'm done with this.
Yeah.
I don't think it was a step down. Like, hey, buddy, we're done with this altogether. More than
that's what I think it was.
he was done with it.
I don't think it was his choice.
Think it was the Steelers' choice.
Yeah, I think it was the Steelers' choice. And you speaking of defense, this was the worst defense he done had in his whole run.
And he thought he put it together.
Oh, no.
He thought he had.
Oh, no, this was not the worst defense, in my opinion. This was a solid defense this year. Very solid. I think this is a really good defense. I just think they were poorly coached. They were personnel-wise, I think they were really good, but I think they're just poorly coached.
He thought he had it.
Spent money on it, too.
Yeah, what I'm saying. He thought he had that shit cracking, and he didn't. But I think it was a little bit of both, though. They probably, had a nice little meeting and was like, hey, what you think about doing? Like, what you think, Mike T? You feel me? He probably was like, kind of felt the vibes and was like, man, I'll just step away and just, let that be the narrative more than I got fired. Yeah. I'm saying we let you control your own narrative. You want to put it out there, you step down. Hey, man.
Yeah, the one thing I know about Mike Tomlin, I worked with him for 3 years in Tampa. He has unbelievable energy, day in and day out. And I think he probably felt like he was a little bit beat down. You know what I mean? If that energy that he possesses that is infectious amongst your team, if he feels like he's losing a little bit of that, then take a year off.
Yeah.
Regroup.
Crazy. Crazy. The era is changing. Like Harbaugh, now Mike T.
Yep.
And like these are arguably two of the best coaches that's done coached in the last 20 years.
I think if you put Mike T again in a situation where he has good coordinators, he's gonna get the most out of that team. Because I think he's a coach that people want to play for. So, and I would assume he has some football experience, like really good football experience. He may not be an expert on one specific side of the ball, but I'm pretty sure he has good general and situational knowledge. But I think if he goes somewhere else and they land on the OC and DC spots, then he gonna be straight. Hear what Skip got to say on that.
Yeah, right.
And it's you can do 9 or 10, but I'm gonna call it 10 years since he won a playoff game. 10 years, and he's lost 7 straight, as Jay pointed out, by in games that they trailed at least by 21. What? Yeah. I mean, that's ridiculously wrong, right? And then to your point about the defense, it's the highest paid defense in pro football this year, and you finish 26th in yards allowed. That's just wrong, because you and I kept looking at it on paper, and I'd say him and him and him and him and him.
Mm-hmm. That's how we felt every week. Yeah. We're like, oh, it's going to start up.
Oh,
it's
come on.
Connect.
Come on. Go. Like take off. And you thought a couple times they were taking off, right? Mm-hmm. And I thought they'd first take off on defense, and the only place they really took off was Aaron got a little hot against Baltimore twice. And yet, look at Baltimore. They fired their coach. And their coach and their quarterback, they weren't coexisting very well. And their coach and their their quarterback and play caller, they weren't coexisting. So they had internal issues that they're going to try to resolve now. Well, you took advantage of that, and yet it came down to some rookie kicker named Loop going loopy, missing a field goal, or you're gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, low key. I think I could see him taking a break. I don't think anybody wants him right now. I could be wrong. I don't think nobody wants him right now. And I don't know if he's like his name is, well, yeah, I can see it. I can see somebody trading for him. I can see somebody trading for him. But just I don't know about this offseason. Maybe after a year, but we'll see. Let's move on to the next topic. Is Tomlin an all-time great? I think that's fair to say, yeah. In terms of, winning that many seasons in a row. I'm not gonna spend too much time on this one here. I think this is an easy yes.
Or Bill Walsh.
Bill Walsh.
Then you're not an all-time Chuck chips.
All-time great coach.
Oh wow, he said he's relating championships.
One of the best of his era for sure, but
okay, I can respect that.
All-time great. You can't put him in that boat, man. You ain't got one chip. Head coaches are y'all stat is chips. Y'all don't run the ball, you don't throw the ball, you don't catch the ball, you don't get picks, you don't block, you don't do shit, you don't tackle. Your only stat is chips. So if your name ain't Chuck Noll, Andy Reid, fucking Bill Belichick, goddamn Joe Gibbs or Bill Walsh.
Bill Walsh.
Then you're not an all-time great, because them the guys who got 3+ chips.
Yeah.
Them the all-time
I
greats.
agree.
They done did this shit and won chips the most out of any coach ever. So if you ain't got 3 at least, you ain't an all-time great.
I think Tomlin get into the Hall of Fame. Like, he got a chip, and that's kind of like the Mike Evans conversation, you know. Was Mike Evans ever consistently a top 3 receiver in the league? No, but what he did is going to get him into the Hall of Fame. And I think that's the same thing for Mike Tomlin, you know. Mike and Mike, interesting. But yeah, I mean, he got 1 chip, so, you know, I think that's for sure enough to get him in. So I mean, and I you know, is he an elite of the elite coaches? No. But is he a great coach overall, looking at his career? I mean, maybe, yeah. I think that's fair to say.
You could be the best of your era all you want. You know what I'm saying? You just wear that jacket.
Yeah, being
Jettas
the
breaking the
best of your
street.
era don't make you all-time great. It's just you was in that moment. If they talk about the best that came through in that time, you are in the talks for 1 or 2. You can, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. This is the National Football League. It's extremely difficult to, 1, get there.
Right.
But to be one of the best of your era, the best of the best in this span, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. So I don't think there's no shame in not being one of the, you know, in the talks of the greats of the greats. But nah, he not. I agree with Lee. It's just too many letdowns.
That was a good point.
Chips
Too many letdowns. Yeah, it's too many times where he's right there and it just ain't happening. You know. So.
Jay?
Yeah, I mean, 19 years, 18 years, whatever it is, that's hard to do in pro football. I mean, it's impressive. But who all are the all-time greats? That's, you know, if we have to, I got to look and see who they are. You're saying you have to have 3 or more? Is Bill Cowher an all-time great? He only won 1.
Hell no, he ain't no all-time great.
Right, I'm
He's
just,
one of the best
asking,
of his era.
I'm trying to put the cat. So is that, if that's the measurement stick for all-time greats, then no, he's not. But anybody who lasts 19 years, wins multiple division titles, wins a Super Bowl, probably, I don't know if you want to coach you there or not, but it's hard to do, man. You guys don't understand how hard it is to last more than 2 years nowadays in this time. But yeah, I do consider him an all-time great. I consider Harbaugh an all-time great as well, just because of the longevity and the consistent production their teams had. Now, their lack of playoff success is a letdown a little bit, but I do consider any coach that lasts more than 10 years in the National Football League.
Coughlin, all-time great. So your all-time great list is like 40 coaches deep.
He just...
I respect the Super Bowl take. I definitely respect that. Like, I think Tomlin was a great coach. And if you look like from a retrospect of his career, you know, you look overall, but when you compare him to some of the other more accomplished coaches, he's not that level. We're gonna move on to the next one. Well, let me hear Jay's rebuttal.
Knows how hard the job is. He's like, you make it through, you great.
John Gruden, the all-time great. So all them guys. So your all-time great list is like at least like 27 coaches.
19 years as a head coach.
19 years in one spot. That's a long time.
And he's gonna get another. He's gonna get another 5 or 6 years.
He only won.
He's an all-time great Steelers head coach. Or is he? Because he is actually. Yes, he is. But I don't think Steelers fans will take him number 1 though, because he got 1 chip, and I think the other coaches got more than 1.
Coach of the year 1.
So that's like saying if a player played 20 years, he an all-time great.
Yeah.
Well,
if a player played 20 years in the NFL, he gonna be on my great list.
Yeah.
Well, that's a long time, bro.
Yeah.
Well,
Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady.
So Bill Cowher's in the Hall of Fame, right?
Yeah.
Tony Dungy's in the Hall of Fame, correct?
Yeah.
And they only got 1.
Only got 1
chip. I mean,
that's all I'm saying.
But also, how I've been seeing it, for the Hall of Fame, you got to be, like as a player, you got to be great and at the top of the league for this 10-year span.
They never had a
losing season. If that's what we're looking at and that gets you there, then
they never had.
Now he again having 19 straight winning seasons and a Super Bowl, he's getting into the Hall of Fame as a head coach. Is he the elite of the elites as a head coach? Nah. You know, like we can look at the Hall of Fame and be like, we could put tiers into the Hall of Fame in terms of great players. Like you can do that. Like it's fine. Like there are players who are elite, like easily the best of all time at their position, and then there are players who deserve to get in. You know, because they're some of the greatest of all time, you know. So, you know, I think that's fine. Aaron Rodgers might have. What is this?
He hasn't given a firm answer if he's going to retire or not. But
What's up,
hard for me after 4
he will have a job in 9 to 8 weeks.
MVP career.
I think Tomlin will have another job if he wants to, but I don't know. I don't know about this offseason because it's a lot of hot. It's a lot more hot head coaches right now, like head coach options right now that are better options than Mike Tomlin right now. So I think maybe taking a year off and then the next coaching cycle, which would be next year, I think somebody might call him.
Career to leave the field after a pick 6.
Josh Johnson.
That's what you leave the field on. That'd be difficult for me.
That's
so
a good point.
Yeah, Skip. Should Aaron Rodgers retire?
You're probably asking the wrong guy.
You're like, get out, we're done.
Look, he should have been retired.
Right.
This is incredible to me, but everybody I've ever been with on TV loved Aaron Rodgers, like thought he was the god, like the GOAT god. I never did. But here's the truth about Aaron Rodgers. He should have retired 4 years ago. He was washed his last year in Green Bay. He was over the hill, over and out, and they said, that's enough. We don't want you anymore. Then he had the Achilles tear the first year with the Jets, and he came back a year ago, and he was a shell of himself. Finished 25th in QBR for those Jets and went 5-12 as the starter. And the Steelers.
He said he was a shell of himself with the Jets. I think he was good with the Jets. I think the Jets had bad play calling. Like,
said, that's enough. We don't want you anymore. Then he had the Achilles.
W Street. Oh, 9 and 8. Okay, I get it. I definitely missed the joke. I get it. That's not a bad joke, but it probably was just the delivery. I don't know. I get it though.
Tear the first year with the Jets, and he came back a year ago, and he was a shell of himself.
He looked fine with the Jets, in my opinion. Their play calling was bad. And same thing with the Steelers. Like, the play calling was not good with the Steelers this year. They had some good run play calling, but the passing concepts were not great at all. And that's just the NFL. If you're not in it, if you don't have a good offensive coordinator or a good offensive mind that you're paired up with, you're not going to look great as a quarterback. But Skip be having some casual takes sometimes. Sometimes he be on point, and a lot of times some of his takes be like real casual.
Finished 25th in QBR for those Jets and went 5-12 as the starter. And the Steelers were so desperate for a quarterback that they gave him one last hurrah, last shot. And he finished 23rd in QBR this year. And then he showed you last night he can't move anymore. And he's lost his stomach for taking any of the hits that you need to take to win a big game. And they kind of fluked into the back door of the playoffs. And happy days are here again. And he found Valhalla with Mike Tomlin. And they were kind of joined at the hip because their last Super Bowl was against each other 15 years ago. And since that Super Bowl, Aaron is now 7-10 in the postseason. 7-10. And he can still fling it around. Nobody got rid of the football quicker than Aaron Rodgers.
Interesting. Interesting. He said the Steelers was going to beat the Texans, and he said Greg Roman was good. But, hey, I ain't beating you up for it, though. It's okay. It's okay. I follow Sauce Gardner. I do. Interesting.
Did this year in the NFL. It was 2.6 seconds out of his hand. And that first big play that he hit to DK last night where he just...
Yeah, no. I said KP wasn't getting fired, not because he's a good head coach. I mean, good OC. Trey said Roman wasn't getting fired because he's a good OC. I said Patullo wasn't getting fired because Sirianni is his friend. We all knew KP was bad. But, again, it's okay. They had 5 coordinators in 5 years. Yes, unfortunate.
Stood up and just flung it to him. That's what he can do now. And I know DK dropped a big ball last night, but you're kidding yourself next year if you think you can go anywhere with Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback. But I listened to the whole postgame last night, and he clearly to your point, he wants to play again, but he was hoping.
It did sound like he wanted to play again. I listened to his little his thing, but again, Aaron Rodgers is not the issue. If he goes back to Pittsburgh with Arthur Smith, he needs to go to a situation. Hypothetically, if he does go somewhere, if he leaves, Pittsburgh might have him back though. But he just needs to get OC. Like, you know, he said he had fun playing football, and I think that's because they gave him control this year. That's why he had fun playing football. The Jets probably didn't give him control, and you know, that's fair. But either he need to call the plays or he need to find somebody who gonna call good plays.
To play bright him, he with this. Why it was Rodgers always against Steelers. All right.
A lot of
y'all miss to clearly see Petrie shooting in, nigga miss a block here.
They were missing a lot of blocks.
Y'all missing fucking hella blocks, so it ain't like he was lying. But I would say,
all right,
I think he should retire. You know what I'm saying?
Does having different coordinators since you've been in the league not mess up a player's development? Yeah, it does. It definitely does. I think it just puts more responsibility on the player in terms of seeing how great that they are. Because we've seen Josh Allen change coordinators and he still won an MVP. We've seen Lamar change coordinators and he still won 2 MVPs. So, you know, some players are just that great. And some players, you know, I think Jalen Hurts is good, but I think we all know that he's not on the level of a Josh Allen or Lamar. You know, it just is what it is. Go to the Vikings. Interesting.
I just think his legacy is what it is. It's a nice legacy.
If Flores leaves, he should not go to the Vikings.
You know what I'm saying? You got a great name. I just don't want to see him bounce to another team and then that be bad and bounce to another. Like, I just don't like guys to end like that. You know what I'm saying? But I think if the right coach come from like a Sean McVay, Shanahan tree, one of those type offenses, and they like, man, shit, we think you could run this offense on some.
Justin Fields are you saying Justin Fields had different OCs every year in his career?
Stafford type shit.
Yeah.
We think you could run this offense. We're going to have a hell of a run game, and we want you to stay with Pittsburgh a year. If Pittsburgh don't want you, that new coach, that new OC don't want you, I hang it up, man.
Yeah. We know he ain't getting with Shanahan because
6
Shanahan
years
MVP right now.
No, I'm not saying go nowhere. I'm saying if somebody from Shanahan tree came in as the head coach and they running that system,
all right,
you feel me? That's what system you at that age. You need this system.
He's got a couple available.
Yeah, go Talib. Talib is on the train of systems, man. This is the second episode I've heard him say that. Like, it's factual. Like, if you have a bad coach, you're going to look bad. The casual fan is going to look at you and say that you're the problem when you're not the one calling the plays. You know, there's like any basketball team, any football team, you can only get so far with a bad head coach. Basketball is a lot easier because it's only 5 players on the court and 11 players in total. You know what I mean? But way easier than 53. But you know, you can only get so far based off of talent. And really, basketball they play on both sides versus, you know, you play on one side. But anyways, though, you need a good head coach or offensive coordinator. If Hurts doesn't get hurt in 2022, he would have been an MVP and have a ring. Wonder what the talks would have been like. He would have been an MVP. That's interesting. Well, that's a big would have, but I'm not like if he would have won an MVP, then he would be in elite conversations right now. He would be in top 5 quarterback conversations for sure. If he with an MVP, no doubt about it. But as of right now, I don't think nobody's looking at him like that right now. If Kyler didn't get hurt in 21, he was an MVP. Interesting.
Possibly might be LaFleur and the kid from Miami. He's available. He's a Shanahan guy.
That's what I'm saying. If you get in that system, then I think he'll flourish in that system.
Yeah, I think
that's interesting.
You can partner.
Look at that. Interesting. I'm not taking nothing away from Jalen Hurts. He's a good quarterback. And again, if he won an MVP, like you can't question. You really can't question too much. You know, at that point, he had 3,700 yards, and he played in only 15 games, 22 touchdowns, 6 picks. Oh, he would have. He was second in MVP voting. Oh wow, yeah, he would have won MVP. Who won MVP that year? Rodgers is playing for no reason. No, he playing for fun. You know, that's just like if you got paid to play your favorite video game, like why would you retire? You know, just because everybody wants you to retire just because you're old, but you still playing the game. You know, but you're making money off of playing the game, and you have fun doing it. You know, I think he's just doing it because it's fun. Mahomes. Okay, now let's look at that gap. Let's see if there was a gap there. Because if Mahomes' numbers is that much better than his, then I don't know about that. But to be second in MVP voting is fire. I think that's really good. No, he would not have won MVP. 5,200 yards, 41 touchdowns, and 12 picks. He would not have won MVP. That's a landslide right there. But he played good. He played really good.
Him with Brian Flores and bringing Mike McDaniel together, those two, the head coach and offensive coordinator.
I think if they do something like that,
you mean just anywhere? Oh, in Pittsburgh.
You can't change uniforms no more.
Yeah,
right?
because you think about the new.
All right, let's move on to this next topic.
So, but luckily for Stroud, Texans defense dominated the Steelers. Houston became the second team in playoff history to score multiple defensive touchdowns in a game without giving up a touchdown. So, I just don't know if this defense is enough for the inconsistent offense. So, Skip, I got to ask you, after what you saw from C.J. Stroud and the Texans, what shot do you give them to beat the Patriots?
I got to give my man from Oklahoma City to my immediate left credit for yesterday. He did bet me, did take the Steelers, but he said to me that he did, I'm putting words in your mouth, did not trust C.J. Stroud. He was right, and then he was wrong about the big picture of the game. Okay?
Still lost money.
Here's the point about C.J. Stroud. I want to remind everybody. He had played 4 playoff games before last night.
Nah, Trey, I didn't watch yesterday's episode. I'm watching today's episode right now. I didn't watch that yet.
He had won 2 of those playoff games, and in the 4 combined, he'd thrown 4 touchdowns with 1 pick and 0 lost fumbles. 0. As soon as the game started, I said, "Who is that? Did they kidnap him? Is it an imposter?"
CJ ain't really turned the ball over crazy this year, though. You know, like I think that's a narrative based off of this game against the Steelers when him and the center were not on the same page, and him making iffy plays in the pocket. We could say he's done that all season, but then he'll make a good play in the game. So he's been, you know, you could relatively say CJ has been mid this season, like maybe above average, but it's not like the narrative that's being spun right now. Like he just is a turnover machine. That's not a thing. Like that happened in that game, but I think, yeah, I think that's more of a casual take.
Who kidnapped C.J. Stroud? Because he looked like he'd never played before.
Yeah.
Seriously. Like the moment was way too big for him. He couldn't catch the freaking snap. He couldn't hold on to it.
He fumbled it 5
The ball's on the ground.
That
5
pick was
times.
bad.
And I'm saying, whoa, man, what are you doing?
But he's thrown bad picks this year, you know. Like, but again, he's not turnover heavy. It's not like, you know, he's had some bad picks this year. But I think we can say about every quarterback. You know, it's fair to say everybody has some bad picks this year.
Cold.
And it's cold. I guess so.
Been indoors,
I don't know. So he coughs it up in the first quarter, and I'm like, okay, get over it. And he coughs it up again in the second quarter. And early in the third quarter, he throws the most mind-blowing red zone interception in a playoff game I think I've ever seen.
Oh, my gosh.
Where I'm like, what are you doing, man? You're killing your football team. It should have been 30-6 in the first quarter. And
Think he gets another contract with the Texans? For sure. For sure. He's not the sole problem. Like, we haven't had good offensive play calling. Last year, we fired our OC. This year, we have a rookie offensive coordinator. They're already talking about extending CJ, which is smart, because if you pay him now, you pay him early, you pay him before the cap goes up. So it's like it's kind of like how the like you're getting ahead of I'm having trouble articulating it, but you're paying them early because the cap is going to go up. So relatively, the contract that you give them now is going to be cheap. Would I rather have Stroud or Hurts? I don't know if I'm being honest. Hurts' decision making ain't been that great this season. Like I'm kind of cool with CJ Stroud. But yeah, you paying them early, so because they re-signed Jalen Petrie early. They re-signed a lot of people early. They paid Jalen Petrie last year, like gave him a contract extension, and I was questioning that. I was like, why are we giving him money now? And he's not the only one. They paid a bunch of people early. They paid Nico Collins early, which is smart. You if you pay them early, by the time like the money catches up, that contract is gonna be it's gonna be a cheap contract, and you're gonna be good in terms of cap. So, yeah. So yeah, I'm with re-signing CJ, especially if we could hit on the offensive coordinator. I think they're gonna get the most out of him. I trust him long term. He may be questionable right now, but I know our play calling is questionable too. So
it's 7-6 going to the fourth quarter. That's what the score was last night. It was 7-6.
I just did that with Collar.
And he finally settled down in the fourth quarter and completed 3 balls, and Christian Kirk got loose a couple times. Good. But the defense scored 2 touchdowns, and they won the fourth quarter 23-0 in large part because of a hellacious defense. Mm-hmm. It is serious business because it's fast and it's physical and it's very well coached by a defense-minded coach who's been producing on defense. D'Amico is with his defense. And they're so committed, they're so driven to attack the ball, to chase the ball. They swarm. It's beautiful to watch.
You're saying Stroud is better than Hurts? I'm gonna take him personally, but it might be a little biased there, And I think in terms of talent, like I think you could argue CJ a little bit, but that'd be my personal preference. Like Hurts don't do a lot to wow me, to be like, I for sure take him over CJ, But it's my personal preference. There's no gap between CJ and Bryce. CJ's lows are not as bad as Bryce's lows. Bryce's lows are way lower than CJ's. Like you get more consistency with CJ.
So I slept on it, and I've now convinced myself because I'd already picked it yesterday. I think they can go win at New England, and that would give them a home AFC championship game.
You're still riding with that. I thought you might have changed your mind after last
Okay,
night.
but I just the defense, it's going to be very low scoring. It'll be cold. I got it. And you always say that's a hard place to play, and maybe it'll eat him alive again, and he'll be deer in headlights. But I don't think so. I think he'll be good enough for them to win. It's going to be like 13-10, and they can win a 13-10 game.
Okay.
I don't know. I like Drake Mays. He was my MVP this year. I think that they got that Cardi B effect.
Well,
I'm just saying that shit happens.
You got it.
Man, I gotta hear other stuff and stuff like that, bro. Every time somebody says something outside of football as the reasoning for a team gonna win, they be wrong. So I need to hear some they gonna win because of Cardi B. Come on now.
They had the Swifty effect in Kansas City, but
Bryce Silling or CJ Silling, I'm going with CJ.
I think Drake May's good.
He is great.
He's good.
Yeah.
And I think the Patriots beat the Texans.
Okay.
I'm with that too.
All right.
Cardi B effect. Drake May's good. Shout out to Pac-Man, but I need a little bit more than that. DJ or JD. I'm gonna ride with CJ, man. I'm a little biased on that one. JD had one good year. CJ had one good year. So to each their own. We gonna see once JD fully healthy.
I think the Patriots beat the Texans too. I mean that defense fucking balling.
Yes.
Like it ain't getting no better than what they did last night. That was about as good of a defensive day that you can have. You know what I'm saying?
Agreed.
It's a record day. Yeah.
But I'm just saying, what I think is Foxborough tough place to play. If CJ was nervous seeing all them yellow towels, wait till you get your ass in Foxborough and you hear that wind whistling. Gonna be in red 18.
Now I'm gonna say this though. The Steelers. Now let me look it up so I'm being factual. But the Steelers pass rush seem like, if we talk about player for player, the Steelers pass rush is better than the Patriots. So I don't know how much CJ Stroud is gonna be worried, you know. And if you give CJ Stroud a clean pocket, he gonna cook. But let me go ahead and check this real quick. Let's pass rush. Yeah, Steelers pass rush is 84.5, and that's 4th in the league, and the Patriots is 17th in the league in pass rush. So, I mean, CJ might have cleaner pockets. The only thing we probably have to worry about is like the looks on defense. But again, if you're giving him clean pockets, I think you know, I'm cool with that.
I'm gonna be in your ear like a motherfucker. I'm telling you. Hey, and they still got this win streak. I'm hey.
Milton eating, yeah. So y'all taking Milton over Cam Hayward? To each his own though. But again, the Steelers pass rush is better than the Patriots pass rush.
Win streaks, man, it's just an accident waiting to happen. He was this close.
Yeah.
He was this close.
Yeah, he was.
Trying to give it away last night.
He did his best.
He literally was handing it.
You're not gonna keep
come win
overcoming
this
that
game.
Yeah, please.
You're not gonna keep overcoming the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And it's just hard to keep getting lucky. And them win streaks, I don't fuck with them. Now you're on the 10-game win streak. You feel me? Hey.
It is cold in Pittsburgh, by the way. Remember 2013 when our punter got his jaw broke?
Yeah.
Dang.
God, dang.
Yeah.
Punter.
It's cold.
Yeah.
It's cold
jaw
in
broke.
Pittsburgh. That
Got
wind's
cut
howling
back.
off the dang. But I like this game. I got D'Amico Ryans versus Mike Vrabel, two coaches who I would love to play for. These two guys are great energy. They're great team guys, great player coaches. You got C.J. Stroud versus Drake May, two upcoming quarterbacks. They're going to be the face of the NFL for.
Texans never made the AFC Championship. They never won a Super Bowl. They're the youngest franchise in the NFL.
Many, many years. C.J. is going to play better. You got the running game with Henderson and Stevenson versus Chubb and Woody Marks. Very exciting. Then you got two defenses colliding. These teams are very similar.
They are.
Texas defense is a little bit better than New England's, but they still play very good defense. They beat the hell out of Justin Herbert last. Beat the hell. So they're coming in with a lot of swag and a lot of confidence too. So I think it's going to be a team who can make a big play and protect the football is going to be the difference. And then, like it always is in these cold weather, close games, it's the kicking game. Who's got the better kicker? It's going to come down to a field goal at the end of the game, and very similar to the way the Steelers beat the Ravens. Field goal missed at the buzzer. It's going to be like that. That's how close I think this game will be. Two coaches that had 2 great years. Two of them could be.
You know, I think it would be fair to say, and again, I could look at that as well. But it's like, it's not going to, if I look at this, I don't think it's going to tell the full story because I don't know when the Chargers lost their offensive lineman, so I can't filter it out by weeks, but I'll look for the whole season. But pass blocking, the Chargers have a worse offensive line than the Texans. Texans got a better pass blocking line. So Texans got a better pass blocking line than the Chargers, and the Patriots pass rush is not as good as the Steelers. So, no, again, I'm not really worried. Let me see. Let's see run blocking. Our run blocking is better than the Chargers too. Wow, interesting. Chargers are dead last in run blocking. Wow. Yeah, I don't know, man. You know, it's interesting.
Talked about for Coach of the Year again.
So who misses the field goal at the buzzer?
How far did Watson go with Houston? Yeah, divisional. And I think we lost to the Chiefs. People were saying, I think, no. Never mind. We lost to the Chiefs, and I think we lost to the Ravens with Watson.
That's a tough one. I'm
Be cold.
Yeah, you gotta.
The indoor
The
kicker.
indoor
I said,
One that used to be it outside.
Yeah, the guy from Hawaii.
Yeah, I'm probably going to take.
That might be
grudgingly,
a
I'm
little
probably taking New England. I'm going to take New England and home team this year, but it wouldn't, or this week, but it wouldn't surprise me either way. But I like New England and Drake May with his scrambling ability.
They all picking New England. That's interesting. I'm not mad at it because they're the favorite, but that's interesting.
Yeah, I think it'll be the difference.
But I'm not really hearing no good reasoning, you know, because they saying C.J. Stroud will have an issue with the Patriots D line, but the Patriots pass rush is not as good as the Steelers pass rush, you know. And then Cardi B and Drake May is good, you know. Like I'm not hearing no real reasoning.
The difference between C.J. and Drake. Drake can make plays with his legs off schedule. He can get 40, 50 yards rushing, which is hard to do. C.J. is not much of a threat running the ball, and
C.J. can run, he just doesn't run. You know, whatever that reason may be, but
I think that'll be the difference.
So I look at
what's the best defense the Pats have seen this year? The Chargers. And they scored 16 points on them. So I mean, we gonna see, bro. Texans got to get, like, this game is very 50-50. Like it's not. I don't think the Patriots are that much better of a team than the Texans right now.
CJ, his last 5 road games, 5 touchdowns, 7 turnovers, 5 picks, 2 fumbles. 5 times fumbled yesterday. He was sacked 11 times. Okay, so how do you help out a quarterback like that?
He was sacked 11 times over the last 7 games. Okay, how many times was he sacked yesterday? Oh, you know, I could just go here by game. Offense. Okay, no, that's just not the way to go. Passing pressure, blocking, pass blocking. There we go. Pass blocking, sacks. We allowed 1 sack yesterday. Is this accurate? Let me double check. Texans, Steelers. Come on now. We got sacked 1 time yesterday.
Gotta be able to run the ball. They are 22nd against the run. New England's defense, 6th stopping the run.
Yeah.
Here's their saving grace. New England has been averaging 28 points a game.
Strip sacks don't count. That said 3. Can I not read? Oh, I can't read. I looked at the picks. My fault. Okay, 3 sacks is not good. Reasonable.
The game. Their first time facing a top 10 scoring defense, they put up 16. And that defense ain't this defense.
Yeah.
So that's their saving grace. So if CJ can play just a little bit better, the Texans can go in there and win this game. But with the
What about those Broncos? I don't know yet.
Over these last 5, nah, man. I said that whoever won this game was gonna go win this. No. No. Like Lieb said, he gonna get in there and them lights, they just get brighter and brighter. The further you get in the playoffs, he'll tell you, them lights get brighter and brighter and brighter. More people watching.
So what's your definitive answer?
So I'm going with the Patriots at home.
Okay, you jump ship.
I just thought you were going Texans. I just wrote Texans for you. I was like,
you got to jump ship. Hey.
Okay. Now I can respect the pressure. Like I can respect the, you know, the idea of him getting sacked or him turning the ball over, but you know, it is playoffs are about matchups, and if the Pats have a better pass rush than Still's got a better pass rush, then that's, you know, it's kind of invalid. But we gonna see. The Texans have better pass blocking than the Chargers, and the Pats pass rush is worse than the Steelers. So using that information, it would be safe to assume that the Patriots are not going to do as good getting to the quarterback as the Steelers did in this game. But we'll see. Game's going to fall on Nick's and Stroud's shoulders. You know, I would love to see C.J. Stroud just go off, but it's not impossible because, again, he hasn't played trash this year. It's just mid. Like, if he can put a good game together, which he's done this year, here and there, it's not consistently. But, you know, he doesn't play terrible. Like, CJ doesn't have terrible games, you know. Like, his worst is just mid, you know. And I think if he could just stay mid or play above that, which is good, we gonna be fine. It's crazy. Snoop Dogg. Just realize the last 2 times we played the Steelers, we beat them with the exact same score. That is interesting. Pretty sure May is the best quarterback under pressure this year. We gonna see, man. We gonna see. I seen a stat like that with CJ Stroud too, but you know, he didn't play that way against the Steelers. But hopefully he cleans that up against the Patriots. And again, the Patriots pass rush is not as good as the Steelers, so we gonna see.
If he watched what I watched yesterday, and I'm going off the last 5 games,
how can you bet with that?
That's not the quarterback I would want.
The defense?
I will.
Yeah, you can bet on that because of the defense. That's facts.
I will bet you C.J. Stroud plays better than Justin Herbert just did at New England. I will bet you.
Herbert.
Well, that ain't hard.
Herbert been playing like shit the last 3 years. Like,
Thank you.
He don't get
The bar is on the floor, Skip, for that.
to talk about him.
That's fine.
He's been horrible.
Yeah,
So that's a good point that Skip is making. If Stroud can go in there and the Texans offense can go in there and play better than the Chargers offense, which is a reasonable expectation, and the Texans defense is better than the Chargers defense, that is another reasonable expectation, then, you know, 1 + 1 = 2.
Bowl is pretty strong.
Bro.
Well, that wasn't horrible.
He ain't won a postseason
Have
game
you
since
seen
when
his
He couldn't hit his back foot in the ground
Come
without
on.
getting hit in the back of the head. If they didn't have Justin Herbert, they would.
When
have 2
but
wins.
last year he could. They was blocking for him. How you
He
doing?
had a tough year that year.
What about
the year before that?
Good regular season. Kind of like Mike
Like the
Tomlin.
little,
Lost in the first round
like the
again.
only
Like Mike
child.
Tomlin's the head coach there, Pac-Man.
He could do no wrong.
And we know in game guys, that's
He's
all
still
time.
young. He's
Come
still
on,
young.
man.
He gonna turn the corner. But shoot.
We see
I'd
Jay.
take that
That's
summer.
all.
The Broncos and Texans playing an AFC chip score gonna be 10-7 or 10-3. Nah, it's gonna be more than that. The last time they played was like 16 or something, 16-13 or something like that. So they both gonna score more than 10 points, but it is gonna be more of a defensive game for sure, and it's gonna be a chess match. Definitely gonna be a chess match. I look forward to see how they play out.
All time for him. He's got low
The
expectations.
Texans defense make me want to pick the Texans every fucking game.
I know.
Our Raiders dropped 21, just big plays. That's it. They weren't consistently driving on us. They popped off some big plays, and then that's it. One big play touchdown, another big play touchdown, and I think they got one good drive on us. And, you know, I mean, that happens. I think that comes from just, you know, sleeping on your opponent. Ashton Genty got matched up on a linebacker who's not a coverage linebacker on a go route, and that's 6. And then it was poor tackling on one of Ashton Genty runs, which was a long run. And I don't even know how they got down there on that touchdown throw to Brock Bowers. I'd have to go look at it, but, you know, it wasn't methodical. Like, they weren't just driving down the field. It's just big plays given up.
And I ain't gonna lie.
But you did it yesterday.
Cause they got that little win. I don't like them win streaks, man. Shit like last night, you fumble 5 snaps. Like I thought once that shit started, I say, see what? Wait till I go on this bitch tomorrow. I'm gonna tell them. I told you these win streaks just had shit just going left. But they defense let them over. They stopped them. He turned the ball over. Defense stopped them. He turned it over again. The defense stopped them. So.
But I don't think that's gonna happen against New England.
But that right there,
Nah, it ain't.
but Lee, that right there goes to
It
show.
might.
But that right there goes to show how important coaching is.
But that's not what I'm understanding. Is like, from the defensive perspective, if the Chargers held the Patriots to 16 points, knowing that how bad the Chargers offense was playing, why can't the Texans hold them to less? You know, potentially, you know, and if the Texans offense is playing better than the Chargers offense, why can't the Texans score more points? You know, and these are hypotheticals, but you know they're factually based hypotheticals, like, you know, coming from a reasonable standpoint. But you know, to each his own.
But I don't think that's going to happen against New England.
But that right
yeah, that's
there,
a key.
But Lee, that right there goes to show. But that right there goes to show how important coaching is, because we watched what the 49ers did with a makeshift offense.
Texans offense was terrible. They weren't great, but I mean, I wouldn't say they were terrible. They wasn't great at all, but they I think they were mid, you know? Like I think that's what it, you know, very mid, a very mid offense, you know. I think terrible is the defense outscores y'all, you know, like, or you score one touchdown, you know, that's not cutting it. 14 points is not cutting it either, but you know, I think it was very mid. But again, we scored 14 and the Chargers only scored 3. So, you know, if we can score 14 against the Patriots and we can hold the Patriots to 16 points, I'm pretty sure the defense can set us up to get, you know, extra points. So we're going to see. I think the game will come down to who turns the ball over more. I agree with it. It's a 50-50 game. Like the Patriots are not the Patriots. I don't think the Patriots, like, if you're talking like betting odds, the Patriots are favored in this game. But if we're talking like football, just like, you know, the details of the game, I think it's very much 50-50.
Yes. They had their quarterback and they had CMC. They tight end went down and he drew it up. He drew it up to make this thing work. And that Philly defense ain't nothing to play with. But he drew it up. And Arthur Smith, last 5 years, that's 26 offense, 15, 26, 16, 15. Yeah, it just ain't it.
Your defense different though. When you get out the situations that CJ got you in last night, and your defense get you out of them, no points, and then we give you 14.
No,
like, bro, that's
look at the score. That's 30, a 30 piece.
By the time Friday come, my pick might be changed. I ain't gonna lie to you. I just like defense.
All right, I think you're admitting on live TV here that, wait a second, the Texans defense is better than the Broncos defense, right?
They fucking played their ass off last night. They better than everybody. What they did last night?
That was
that's top
all
of the
I'm
line.
saying is this.
That's top of the line.
While you have a Super Bowl defense, maximize it. They did. The next year, they were number 4 scoring defense. The next year, they were number 4 again.
Yeah.
After that, they were 22nd. So while you have it, you got to maximize it. CJ gonna end up.
They got it. Everybody on the contract. So, I mean, in terms of that, that's not the issue. The issue is upgrading the O-line. We can add depth on defense. I'm cool with that. But upgrade the O-line and then get an offensive coordinator, and then boom, you right back where you at the next year.
Wasting this Super Bowl defense because you keep winning. Somebody gonna want to get paid. Somebody gonna leave. This gonna happen. This coach.
That's why they keep paying everybody early. Which I like, you know. We not gonna let it get to where you at free agency or you're in a contract year. We gonna pay you beforehand. I respect that a lot.
That's what I'm saying. Why you got it?
So I think Woody Marks is RB1 in the future. Nah. And it's you know, Woody cool, like he good, but I don't think he's as good as Joe Mixon. You know, I think you could find a better running back than Woody Marks. You know, I think the run blocking was just good. You know, that's it. And I'm not gonna say it was just good. Woody was playing good, but I'm not looking at Woody as franchise running back. You know, if he turns into that, that's awesome, and I would be happy for that. But he's not better than Joe Mixon, and I think there are other running backs out there who are on the level of Joe Mixon. So, you know, or you can draft another running back, like, you know. Like if we had like JCM, I would take JCM over Woody. If we had you know, and he was in the 7th round, so you can draft another running back that's gonna be that's going go out there and produce. I think running back is super replaceable. The Steelers cannot stop the run against the Texans. Wonder how that run game gonna be against the Pats. No clue. I don't care if we run the football, throw the football. I just want to outscore the Patriots. That's it. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to win. That's it. I don't care how it gets done. I'm gonna look at the numbers and try to break all that down once I do the predictions, to see how everything matches up. But I don't care if we walk out of there with 20 rushing yards, as long as we win a game. That's it. We should maybe get Tonga back, which helps our run defense. Y'all got some good guys on defense, but it's like I look at the Patriots kind of like the 49ers. It's not a bunch of like really elite guys, but it's really well coached. But there are some good players on that defense. And I think if you can coach it up correctly, you can coach it up to score points on them. You can put some points on a pass defense for sure. But you got to just be hidden in terms of play calling, which the Texans are hit or miss. But with the defense we got, I think it'll keep us in that game for sure. Cornerbacks and interior defense. What have you heard anything about Gonzo yet? Like, did they confirm it was a concussion? May was terrible against the Chargers. Yeah, I think it's like none of them are talking about that. Like Pac-Man Jones said, May is good, and May didn't play great against the Chargers. So it's like nobody on here gave enough points for me to like really like take their vote, 100%, serious, But we're gonna see. I think he's gonna play, but we'll see. It's going to be interesting if Gonzo's out. If Gonzo played too, I mean, that's still interesting. But, like, if he plays, I'm not super worried. But if he's out, it definitely gives us an advantage. Because it's not like we just target Nico Collins 24/7. Like, they kind of spread the ball around a little bit. May have 334 total yards. I don't think he played terrible by any means. If I say he played terrible, I'll say I was regurgitating. But let me look at the stats. Pats, Chargers. 17 for 29, 268, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Okay, I'm not gonna say he played terrible. I'm not gonna say he played terrible. 66 rushing yards. But at the end of the day, they scored 16 points, and I think reasonably thinking, the Texas defense is better than the Chargers defense. Nico not playing? I don't know if Nico's playing. Gonzo and Nico might be out. We need Nico. Like Nico gonna help us for sure, but again, it's just not. It ain't scary, Oh, Speak Easy live right now. Interesting. I might come back to them. Maybe not. It's already getting a little late. Stats are irrelevant. Watch the game. They play good. That's why people need to stop stat watching. I think Gonzo plays. But both teams are going to be probably trying to push them to play, but we'll see.
You got Maximus. See?
Obviously it just depends on the grade of the concussion, but we'll see.
Okay.
Well,
ready for Steph.
One other problem they're going to have is it looked like last night Nico's gone because he got concussed twice.
Oh, yeah. Nico.
Oh, wow.
He's not going to make it.
The doctors might sit him down for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And that's a huge
That was a Michael Irvin. I thought it was his neck at first.
Know,
God damn.
Yeah, that's a huge loss.
That was a bad one right there, too.
He's a stud, too. He's
What they going to do? Because they ain't running the ball in New England.
I mean, they run game been coming to life, though. Hey.
Well, okay, so the only person riding with the Texans is Skip. I'm kind of surprised by that. So Skip's riding with the Texans. Everybody else got the pass.
Let me see how many rushing yards the Chargers had on the Patriots. Chargers had, they run game got shut down. 11 for 31. But the Chargers are dead last in run blocking in the NFL. And the Texans are like slightly below average. So, I mean, we got a better shot, you know. We got better pass blocking, better run blocking. So, I mean, I think it's safe to say we're going to perform better than the Chargers did. And our offensive coordinator is better than Greg Roman. So, I think you know, it's safe to say that we're going to do a little bit better. Eagles fired Patullo.
Doesn't want to change. Maybe he doesn't.
Chase Brown had a good game versus y'all. Yeah, I think it's to be determined. It's to be determined, you know. Only running back that really got us was James Cook. They committed to running football. I think Texans are committed to running the football too, but you know, James Cook is just he's much better than the running backs we got. But you know, for sure, got Hallie Fears, Jabari, and a pick. Got Steph in 2 seconds. That don't sound too bad. Rolling a pass fan.
Doesn't want to put in motions and call motions and shifts. Maybe he just doesn't feel comfortable. Maybe he doesn't want to put the work in. And Kevin Patullo's like, come on, I promise you if we do this, we'll get a pre-snap indicator. We can recognize the defense and then execute. Nah, I just want to line up and double right. Run two jet all go. I feel comfortable with that. Maybe that was the case. I doubt it, but it could be. Jalen Hurts has won a Super Bowl, a little cocky. Maybe they don't want to put the work in. They were satisfied with their Super Bowl wins and appearances. You know, they're bickering. You know, just hand the ball inside zone, run the RPO off of it. That's our game plan. Here's 12 plays. Can you handle this, Jalen? Sure, I can do it. However, when you watch the tape, it doesn't lie. It's very stagnant, very simple, not a lot of motions, not a lot of movement. If it was all on him, then yes, he should be fired. However, they do have an offensive head coach that could also say, hey, Kevin, let's put in some motions.
Yeah, I said that too the other day. Like, Sirianni takes some of this blame because if Patullo is that bad, why are you not taking over for Patullo? Why are you not taking a play calling duties over like that? You know.
Let's do this. Let's put in a shift. Let's move A.J. Brown around.
No, that's Jay Gruden.
Saquon Barkley out and empty and bring him back in. Draw a screen, whatever it might be. Do something. He was the head coach.
He was.
So why is he firing him? He fired Brian Johnson a couple years ago. Same situation. Then he hired Kellen Moore. They won the Super Bowl. Now he fires another guy. This is hard on Jalen Hurts now. He's had 5.
He said he's not a head coach. Offensive head coach, he useless.
5, 6, 7, 8 different coordinators.
Yeah.
If Texans went AFC chip and he started popping bottles on string, interesting. I'm gonna have my jug of water. We're gonna chug a jug.
In his whole year, has he ever had the same coordinator from college to the NFL?
How did Commanders destroy Chargers? I mean, well, we just seen the Chargers have the worst run blocking in the NFL, and I think they were bottom 5 in pass blocking. So I mean, you know, it come down to matchups at the end of the day. So something went wrong there. You know, I think Chargers got talent, but the O-line issue is I guess that's glaring. The O-line issue is glaring, and I think that's something you can't really overcome. You know, like if your O-line is the worst in the league, you can't overcome that. You know, like if somebody has just slightly good enough defensive line or front seven, they can dictate the game because they can take away your run game and they're getting consistent pressure. The guys on the back end only have to play so good. They don't even have to play perfect. They could play mid, and again, you can completely dictate the game with your front seven versus a bad O-line. And it doesn't matter how good the other quarterback is or how good the receivers is, how good the running backs is, because the line got a block for all of them to get the ball. So Commanders' offense destroyed their defense. Is that right? I don't know. Maybe Cliff had a good game plan. And as well, you know, if you keep giving, I don't know the score. I don't feel like looking it up right now. But if the offense keeps turning the ball over or keeps punting, then they put the defense on the field more and more and more and more. And if it's a good OC, they're going to be able to figure out that defense because you're giving him more opportunities and more time to see what the defense is doing. So he can start cooking them.
2 years in a row?
No.
Maybe it's Jalen. Maybe these guys, I don't know. I'm sure it's not. I heard somebody say, wow. But I'm
27-10.
I'm just saying, there is some accountability the offensive coordinator has to take. So, yes, he should have been fired. However, come on, coach. The head coach is an offensive-minded head coach. You have every right to step in week 3, week 4, just keep
players off the field. Maybe can't nobody get along with his ass. He's running, chasing players off the field. Like,
are you talking about Sirianni? I think Sirianni is the issue. I'm not gonna lie. Like again, the way he carried himself, it's just not like a legendary coach. It's not like a coach. It's just like when we look at some of the better coaches in the NFL or NFL history, and maybe he's an outlier, maybe. But I think the yelling at your players like that or running down the field to go and get in their face, things of that nature, I think some of the stuff that I see him do it's a little too much. But at the end of the day, with all that talent, his job is safe. They got too much talent for them to have a losing record and him get fired.
And like you said, he's an offensive-minded coach. Yeah. After the numbers started dropping midway through here, we just came from the Super Bowl. Like, it seemed like I'm going to
Didn't like how we used Henderson versus the Chargers. All his runs were up the gut. Need to get him some outside runs. Oh, definitely. You got to get him in space. Definitely. But the Chargers got two good defensive ends. So maybe they got scared and didn't want to risk that. Because are you really trying to run straight towards Khalil Mack and then Odafe Oweh is kind of nice too. I don't know how good he is against the run, but he's a good defensive end. He's been playing really good this year. So maybe they got scared. JCM had 14 carries for 111, and his longest was only 27. But it was toting. He was toting. So I don't know. Something's questionable about that Chargers defense. I don't know something. Or JCM. JCM nice though. Like from a talent perspective, that he's a talented running back. But he could have been on that day too. Better see some tears if Texans win the chip. That'd be dope. That'd be super dope. It'd be cool, but I'm not part of the team. I'm not getting paid by them, so it's only so cool. But to see that though would be an extremely dope experience. I'm definitely watching that live if they were to make it. AJ was walking off the field when we were trying to punt. Interesting. That's interesting.
Take some kind of responsibility, instead of just keep firing people. I think it has a lot to do with the head coach.
Ooh,
a lot.
Two on Sirianni. Steve, how you feeling?
I just saw a lot of drop passes. If some of them
Roland saying that because he wants AJ to come to New England. Now, I'm not gonna lie. We've looked at the numbers over and over and over again this season, and financially, it would set them back as a franchise. I've been saying this like 3 days in a row, but it would set them back as a franchise if they were to trade him because of the dead cap. It would not be smart. You usually got to ride with it. If he not getting along with Sirianni, I'd rather move Sirianni because the people who I trust in that organization is the GM and whoever is handling payroll and being able to afford all this talent more than Sirianni because majority of these players were there before Sirianni, so he didn't put this team together.
Passes would have been caught. He looked like a great play caller, right? So I'm just a firm believer in we the ones out there. If you draw inside zone, well, if the motherfucker O-line cut him off, come back, seal him, and boop, everybody do their job. Inside zone gonna work. Somebody lose the matchup, then we lose. So we could point fingers at somebody got to get the blame, right? Sirianni, like somebody got to get the blame. It was the offense fault. Y'all didn't like it all year. Well, we got to fire him. That's just the business we live in. You know what I'm saying? So he got the blame. That's his job. It is what it is. But me, man, players play, man. Players play. I seen Bill them and Tom them. They ran the same. They had about 3 different offenses in there. They ran them same 3 offenses for years and dominated because people just did their fucking job. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I gotta respect that too. I was saying that last night. If you're AJ Brown, you got to just ride the situation out, and you got to just, you know, you got to let go of what you want. You're a rich man. You got to be grateful for life. This is your job. You signed up for this. You're paid very well. You got to let go of they messing with my Hall of Fame numbers. They messing with my Pro Bowls and my All Pros. We know that you're a great receiver. If it's meant for you to be in the Hall of Fame, that's gonna happen. You just need to be the best person that you can and be the best player that you can while you're out there. That's it. If everything is meant, it's written, it's gonna happen. You know, if you're a man of faith, you know, fair to, you know, that'd be fair to believe. And you just got to go out there and not worry about targets, not worry about catches. Go out there and just block the hardest you can every play. Run every route the same every play, and just don't worry about that, because what's gonna happen is what just happened. The offense is not going to look good. Patullo's going to get fired. The team may not perform good. Sirianni gets fired, or whatever. You know, what's meant to happen is it's going to play out. You know, so he's got to go out there and just put his best performance on, because he's stuck financially. He's stuck. They can't. I don't see them moving on from him realistically. I just don't see how the OC doesn't prioritize getting him the ball. I mean, it's just incompetence. But you know, like we can say the same thing about the Vikings, you know, with Justin Jefferson. Like, why is it they're not prioritizing him getting the ball? Who's the Kevin O'Connell? Yeah, we could say that about him, or you know, various other OCs in the NFL who have really good number one wide receivers. So, I think it's only a few really elite OCs in the NFL, and you know, that's just what it is. I think the Vikings QB is more so bad QB play. But I mean, I think you can draw up plays to kind of spam Justin Jefferson, because I watched Kellen Moore. When I say this dude, Olave has 100 catches. Nico Collins has 30 less catches than him, but got the same yards. I was watching Olave's film. They made it so easy for Olave to get the ball. Tyler Shuck did not have a hard job. Spencer Rattler did not have a hard job at all. So they like, a good OC is going to make it easy for your young rookie quarterback or backup quarterback. Because again, Rattler even looked decent with the Saints. He didn't look terrible. If you're a good enough OC, you're gonna do a great job of just getting the guy the ball, getting your number one receiver, you know, his touches. So I think there's more on O'Connell than it is on JJ. Because if O'Connell was like that, he would make JJ look at least decent, you know. Like, they were drawing up the simplest stuff for Olave to get the ball. 5 yards here, 5 yards there, 5 yards here, 7 yards here. You know, it was like I got tired of watching it at a point. I'm the only person to say O'Connell is bad. Yeah. He not bad, but he not elite. He's for sure not that.
It did make me sick, though, when I saw Hurts get interviewed and asked about Patullo. He says, well, I got to check with Howie and Sirianni. And, I mean, just say something nice about your coach. It's the end of the year.
Maybe he ain't like him. You
don't have to say that on the damn media.
Man, he can say,
you know, that's not my decision.
He don't got to say something nice. He don't got to say something nice about him.
That's not my decision. I hope he comes back. That's all he had to say.
Why? Maybe he don't want him to come back.
Well,
you probably don't want him to come back. So I'm not asking him to say something about that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not holding that to AJ. If the OC is just clearly that bad, you don't got to say nothing. You know.
Now he ain't coming back because he said that. That was bullshit.
When you a Super Bowl winning coach, sometimes you get to pick your OC, man. The one he liked.
I'm talking about Jalen Hurts said that. The quarterback said that.
That's what I'm saying. It's Super Bowl winning.
AJ Brown has 0 drops in the regular season. I don't remember him dropping the ball in the regular season. Like, I remember this being a only time I really heard about this year was in a all I heard about him in a regular season was just his effort running routes. I got so much on my thing right now. I need to put all this stuff on the floor. Oh, you know what? PFF would tell me if he dropped passes this year. Forgot about that. Player AJ Brown. Receiving drops. He had 3 drops this year. Because he had no. In the regular season, he had 1 drop. He had 1 drop in the regular season. He had 2 in a wild card game versus the 49ers. So in the whole regular season, he only had 1 drop. That's not bad. It's not bad at all. He had drops versus the Bills and Chargers. Y'all got to drop clips. We need some evidence. Remember him dropping a touchdown pass? He literally dropped a touchdown pass versus the Chargers. It says this is his only drop is versus the Chargers. And the Cowboys.
How much of football winning quarterback? Sometimes you get to pick your OC.
How much of an offensive-minded guru is Nick Sirianni? Because didn't 2 offensive coordinators get hired with this group? Because wasn't Shane Steichen there too?
Mm-hmm. Shane and Keller.
Head coach.
Kellen Moore, head coach.
Okay, so how we assuming Nick Sirianni is maybe he just managed groups well. He might not be that.
Well, he was offensive
coordinator
when he got the job.
Yeah.
How he got the
From
job.
Where?
Where was he?
In Indy?
Indianapolis. Right?
Yeah, he's in Indy.
Last time Indy offense been good.
I mean,
that's a good question. Bro, these OCs, some of them, and not OCs, these coaches, they get jobs based off of the talent that they have, bro. A lot of these coaches get jobs and they get carried by talent, and the media will hype them up and be like, oh, we need this guy because this team did good. But whole time, Jonathan Taylor is running behind a all-pro offensive line, and he's an all-pro running back. And, you know what I mean? Things of that nature, you know, but it's the talent, and it's not, you know, it's easy. You can call any run play. It don't matter who calling plays, you know, but I don't know. I can't speak on the whole Sirianni thing or how well he did in Indy. I'd have to look into it. But I mean, that could be a valid take that he probably wasn't that great of a OC in Indy, you know, because if he was really nice like that, Andy Reid is still calling plays with the Chiefs, you know, Sean McVay is still calling plays with the Rams, Shanahan is still calling plays with the 49ers. If you that nice of a OC, you know what I'm saying?
And since the
last time Indy offense been good.
Wait, Indy was good this year before Daniel Jones went down.
Hey, man, look, if people ain't drop passes, you feel me?
Okay, this is versus the Chargers. I need something outside the Chargers game.
Job, man. So hey,
all right, there is a way to draw it up. Like I said,
you talking about on the skinny post. If he catch that ball, you think they win the game?
Is this the same catch versus the Chargers? He dropped 2 versus Chargers. Or this one?
Devontae, if he catch his ball, first and
it's the same clip twice.
First and goal from the 5. You know what I'm saying? If early in the game, if AJ catch that fade, shit, who knows what we talking about right now? If you're right. If AJ catch that skinny, boom, maybe instead of throwing it in triple coverage, maybe I'm feeling good about AJ.
Indy fall off needs to be studied. I think 2. Okay, PFF says 1. Okay. We really mad at him not catching this here. I can see the other ones, but this is PI. I'm not gonna lie. What the heck?
Barkley in motion.
Hold on. Boom, that touches fingertips. That's tough. That's tough. It's a drop, but that's a tough catch. That's a tough catch. This one should have hauled it in. No question. No question about it. I'm not going to lie. This is a great play. The cornerback is pulling his arm. Like I don't think this is a blatant drop as much as this is a good play by the he can't even pull it in all the way. But yeah, it's a drop is a drop. A drop is a drop. But this is a great play by whoever this cornerback is. That's Cam Hart. That was a great play. You know what? They probably didn't call this a drop because they called it a PBU. So that's what I'm thinking it is. I guarantee you, because they don't count drops and PBUs as the same. So that's why this is not a drop. So that's why you only had one drop this season. This would be a PBU, and the other play would be a PBU. This one is a drop. This is a drop. So I get that. But that's I'm 99% sure that like if I go back and look at the matchup, I guarantee it's gonna say PBU. Let me see by game. What week did they play the Chargers? I'll look it up. There were more drops. Got to find them. They played each other. They were 9-4 at this point. Week 14. I'm pretty sure though. I'm just verifying. Just cause. Week 14, Eagles, Chargers, coverage matchups. Cam Hart versus AJ Brown. Yep, they counted it as a PBU. It's still a drop though. They counted it as a drop. PBU. Oh, he had one drop versus. Oh no. So yeah, and 4 targets. Yeah. So one of these was a PBU and one of them was a drop. So yeah. Yeah. So they counted as a PBU. So that's out of 4 targets. 1 PBU, 1 drop, 1 pick. Or the same. I don't know. That's a little confusing. But he definitely got a PBU for that. All right. But that pick AJ drop, he had 3 drops that game alone. Joe Buck suggested that this throw was high, but I disagree. This pick isn't on Hurts. Look at AJ's head. He looks at the defender anticipating the hit and drops the ball. He has to catch that.
But even though it is high,
I mean, it is high. 2 things are true. He off the ground for sure. I mean, he could have did a full extension. So I mean, two things are true. I mean, this is about 70 and 80% extension right here. It might be about 70, 80% extension. Could have extended his arms a little bit more. He got up for that though. That's fair. That's fair. A drop is a drop though. Very interesting. I don't know. I'm not sure. Genuinely not sure. Check link with link.
I'm a choker. I'm a trash can. And
oh my gosh. Oh no. I ain't gonna do it like that. Can Caleb be a top? What is this?
I went ghost when Philadelphia needed me the most. I truly played like Jalen Turds out.
That's so crazy how they can get their voice to sound exactly like the person.
Tonight. But don't blame me, guys. AJ Brown sold the game. This piece of trash dropped every pass I threw to him, and then he cries afterwards on the sidelines after dropping every ball. There is a reason I don't throw you the ball, you little bum. Go rub that baby oil off your gloves before asking for the ball again.
It's funny, but don't hit for me like that.
Balance. I went all in thinking it's going to be an easy win, but instead you got your cheeks claps at home by Brock Turdy. It was a turd off out there, bro.
Bro, this is so crazy how real this looks. Like it's not, when he was talking, it looked fake, but a little bit, but it's like right here it looked fake when he started talking. But you can easily add a filter on there to make it seem like
trash can.
Make it look a little bit more real.
For this garbage. Nobody cares about your brokey $5 bets, bro. More.
Interesting.
Stafford this Sunday, and he has proven to be one of the clutchest quarterbacks, obviously, in big
Who's sticking A.J. Brown to the ground?
moments. He makes it happen, but Caleb was dead last in completion percentage on the season and completed just 50% of his passes versus the Packers. So, looking at those stats and those numbers, Jay, can Caleb Williams become one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL?
He can. You know, they don't throw a lot of bubble screens and RPOs at Chicago. Ben Johnson attacks downfield, so his completion percentage naturally be a little bit lower than a guy who throws 13 passes behind the line of scrimmage for 65 yards, and he completes 75%, like Bo Nix. You know what I'm saying?
Can Caleb Williams be the NFL's best quarterback completing half his passes? That's interesting. Now, he's going to have to clean that up. In terms of talent, though, it's easy to see that this dude is very talented. But, you know, if we start taking him serious as one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, he got to be more efficient.
Just kidding. But
you don't got to be kidding.
But I think with Caleb's arm talent, his ability to make plays off schedule is unquestionable. And now that you're putting on his plate, I've come from behind in 6 games in a regular season in the fourth quarter, and now one in the playoffs. His confidence and the players' confidence in him and Ben Johnson's confidence in him, I really coming out. Right arm running, and he's going to have, I mean, he probably has a baller. Has been nothing.
The way that the Bears lose, though, is that backfires on them. That a team starts fast, and they don't start fast enough, and they get hot in the fourth quarter, but the team has already created a big enough lead that it's just not, you know, it's not enough.
Short of extraordinary.
You watch the first.
Hell yeah.
I love the duo, but if you watch the first 3 quarters of all these last 8 games, he looked like shit.
Really does.
And then when the fourth quarter get here, he get that fresh manicure.
I guess.
He got Superman. Now, will it catch up? It might catch up. But fourth quarter, he's unstoppable. Like, and I went back and watched because I've been giving him hell about his nails, and I've been like, damn, maybe he just brushing them off in the fourth quarter. But
oh my gosh,
I'm watching the first 3 quarters. He's an average quarterback, but come the fourth quarter, he's on fire.
And a lot's going to depend on Caleb too. What he does in the offseason, what's his commitment level like? Is he going to put in the time?
He's starting to get a little.
LaFleur passing should have blown the Bears out, but they won. Yeah, LaFleur, bro. I don't know what's up with him, bro. Like, he don't have a bad system. It's just his play call, he just chokes. I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know why he sells or how it happens exactly. You know what I mean?
Because we're not going on vacation to Cabo as a quarterback now. You're going to be you got to stay in the meeting room. You got to stay at the facility 24. I mean, you got to keep working. There is no vacations. Drew Brees never took a vacation. You know what I mean? So if he keeps that level of intensity up throughout his career, he'll get better and better, and he will be a force. He already is.
I've seen Patrick Mahomes take some vacations.
After he won chips. You got to win them chips first.
That's fair.
But yeah, I like the duo, man. I feel like if they stay together, they're gonna be trouble for a long time. If you the quarterback in the league with the best escapability, then you the quarterback in the league with the best arm talent. Like now you the quarterback in the league with the best OC. Like those 3 things, bro. It don't get no better than that.
It's the worst completion percentage.
I mean, yeah, like Coach said, it's ways to whip your completion percentage. Right? You know what I'm saying? They don't throw all the bullshit, right, Coach? You said they don't throw screen and screen and screen. They ain't trying to whip the completion percentage. They're just trying to whip the wins. And that's what they're doing, you know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. He don't see them deep shots, he throw them away. Yeah. Coach gave you a great explanation how his he can easily make his completion percentage 68%, can't he? Yeah. Add in 7 quick little screens out there, little, you know what I'm saying? 7 little catching, completion. Like he could easily.
That's interesting. That's very interesting. But maybe you need that. Maybe you need them little bubble screens and you know what I'm saying, a little dink and dunk here and there, so y'all can score points in the beginning of the game. You know, I get. Yeah, you keep taking deep shots and deep shots. That's the issue because y'all are not scoring enough points to be competitive until the fourth quarter. You know, so maybe he needs to stop being addicted to the deep shot, and they'll play better. You know, like they're gonna be stepping on teams. You know, at least from an offensive standpoint.
Aaron Rodgers specials, right?
Aaron Rodgers specials, and it's a lot of people do it. Come
on, man.
Taking shots at my
But I mean, that's not Ben Johnson's offense. Ain't nothing wrong with what Aaron Rodgers does. They use that as an extension of their run game.
Yeah.
Like the Broncos. We throw them quick passes. That's an extension of our run game.
It is.
It's a little outside run for us real quick.
Kansas City.
You know what I'm saying? Kansas City. Mahomes' completion percentage is up because that's an extension of his run game. You know what I'm saying? Ben Johnson don't need that. His run game fucking awesome. You know
and the offensive
I don't
line.
need. I know how to run outside. I can draw it up for my run game. So that's not his offense.
His
So
play
I
action
could care less.
shot. His play action shots are off of that. That's what
Exactly. So
he ain't messing around with damn 5-yard quick outs. He's
I just look at everybody was talking about Patrick Mahomes where he got drafted, like the number he got drafted. Mm-hmm. And then I look at Andy Reid. Andy Reid has never really had a bad quarterback because of how he's drawing it up. But then you take a talented player like Patrick Mahomes and put it with Andy Reid, you get this version of Patrick Mahomes. Yeah. Coming out of college, most people would think that Caleb Williams was more talented than Patrick Mahomes. But then you took him and you put him with a Ben Johnson. Yes, so you said he might not reach Patrick Mahomes' levels. Caleb Williams is beyond talented. And we talk about being the best, and his completion percentage, was it 58, right? It's under 60%. Mm-hmm. Okay, I got a little stat for y'all. 18 NFL MVPs have completed under 60%. So you can go back to.
Interesting. Now, this got to be, if this is prior to like the 90s, I need to see something. I don't know. But hey, you know, interesting. I would need context on that stat, but you know, very interesting.
The old era, but you could go to modern era. Did John Elway throw the ball? Yes, he did. He won MVP under 60%. Brett Favre did it twice. Cam Newton.
That's facts. Brett was a gunslinger.
Did it, and then if you.
And that's facts. Cam Newton did it, but Cam was the best quarterback in the NFL for a year. You know what I mean? Like, as great as Cam was, Cam was great. Great athlete, great talent. But when we're talking about being a Patrick Mahomes level talent, I think you know, he gonna have to clean that up. But at the end of the day, it ain't even about being as great as somebody else. As long as you're great enough to get yourself into the Hall of Fame, I think, you know, that's all that matter.
Throw a couple bubble screens, you can go right above that to 61.
Yeah. It's not the way of the world now.
Joe Montana won it. It's 61%. Oh, no. Brett Favre did it again. And your guy Josh Allen, he won MVP last year. It's 63%.
Okay, but Caleb was dead last this year.
58 to 63? How far apart is that? So, yes, he can. It's just about how you're doing it, what are you doing, and are you winning? So, yes, that 58%, we putting a lot on it.
At the end of the day, you know, I think he got potential to be a great quarterback. He had the potential to do so, especially, you know, again, like he said, that point he made with the Reed and Mahomes, you know, like the pairing with the Ben Johnson and the Caleb, you know, the pairing, and Caleb coming out of college, you know, from a talent perspective, I think that was a very good point. Now how great he'll be, you know, I don't know, that's to be determined, but he does have the potential to be great. So, you know, we'll see.
So the Bills are heading into Mile High this weekend. The Bills defense is ranked the middle of the pack, and it keeps Broncos are a top 3 defense, and we know defense wins championships, but the Bills have
Caleb not winning on MVP. Hey, Matt Ryan won an MVP, you know, respectfully. And I think Caleb is more talented as a player, and a prospect than Matt Ryan was. So, as long as you got the right system and the right pieces, bro, Josh Allen won MVP last year, and Josh Allen did not have the best quarterback season. So, I'm not saying winning MVP is a cheap award, but like if enough players don't have great enough seasons and you just have the best season, or you have a good enough season and a winning record, that's all, because that's what matters the most. If you have a winning record, then you're gonna be taken serious for MVP conversations.
Have Superman. So I know you guys have a little bet on the game this weekend, which I love firing up a little bet. So we need to get the boys' opinion. So Jay, will Josh Allen be enough on Saturday?
It's going to be hard. It's a short week for Josh. He got the hell beat out of him. He did. I mean, arm, knee, just everything. They have no really good receivers that can beat Patrick Surtain. It's going to be struggle. It's going to be cold up in Denver. They're on the road. Don't really have a running game right now. The running game's stale. So it was stagnant against the Jaguars. So they got that. They got the number one defense, top defense. So probably not. Just kidding. Hell, Josh Allen's going to beat their boys.
I was going to say, you doubt Josh Allen?
Going to beat these boys'
I've never heard.
I mean, never bet against Josh Allen against Bo Nix. We had him for 5. Josh Allen. Come on now.
Against Bo Nix.
He playing against the defense.
The
only defense in the NFL
in this playoff series in the AFC, I'm not taking anybody against Josh Allen. That's just who I am. And I just have that strong of opinion of him.
You love Josh
What
Allen.
he did in that Jacksonville Jaguar game.
How long have you felt
Any
that
other
way?
quarterback in that game, they ain't got no chance. Jaguars are a better team.
He's incredible.
Were they not?
What?
The Jaguars were a better team than Buffalo. Were they not? There's only one reason that the Buffalo won that game. This son-of-a-bitch made some throws that not many people
Trevor
make.
Lawrence shit the bed.
Yeah.
He had a 9-yard quarterback sneak.
I don't think that was all Trevor Lawrence's fault. As much as I probably blame Liam Cohen a little bit more than Trevor Lawrence, but teach his own in terms of game plan.
Which, how often does that happen?
Well, O-line helped him. But
that did, but still.
They picked him up and literally carried him.
He runs right into the line on a quarterback designed run and just smashes the dude, and the defense goes back, and he scores by a ball. I mean,
hey, listen.
I'm just telling you, man. I just seen this guy enough where I know I would not.
Against him, right?
I ain't betting against that cat. No way.
How long have you been not betting against him?
I've lost a few.
Yeah, you probably damn near broke now.
I've lost a few. I'm just saying I ain't betting against him in a big game. Now, Patrick's beat him a couple times in overtime in the last drive of the game. I get it, but I think we can get it done, Skip. I think he's going to win a second road playoff game back to back, and I think Buffalo will go to the Mile High and upset your Denver Broncos, Akeem. What do you think about that?
Clip it.
Clip that.
We got all this shit playing in home underdog. We like
Go ahead and defend yourself.
You don't have to.
I'm tired. I've been on this couch for weeks. Defending
all
Broncos.
season long.
All season. We had the worst.
Ever go down a rabbit hole for conspiracy theories? I don't know. I used to be kind of big on conspiracy theories, like when I was like in my early 20s. I don't really be deep on them now, I look at everything as a potential conspiracy, though. I think the older you get, that's how you just look at it. Everything is potential conspiracy. Like the world we live in, we don't know what's true and what isn't. Because in America, everything is just built off of money, and when you prioritize money, you typically, especially in this country, if that's your first love, then probably not the best person, in terms of morals. But that's my take on that, though.
Offense in the league, we trash, both trash, and somehow we the number one seed. Somehow, some way, we the number one seed. Hey,
well,
if the defense let
Khalil Shakir,
Allen go crazy, Josh Allen, if the defense let him go crazy, we gonna lose. If the defense contain Josh Allen, we gonna win. It's as simple as that, man. It's a simple
The weakness
game.
of Buffalo's defense is stopping the run. What do you got, R.J. Harvey? Come on now. We're not scared of R.J. Harvey. We're going to let Bo run back and throw.
I ain't gonna lie. RJ ain't no bum. He ain't elite, but he not a bum. Basil Tutton is fast. Let me look at this actually. Who got better run blocking? Between Broncos got better run blocking than the Jaguars, and the Jaguars was able to get off on the Bills' defense. So as long as you coach that game right and you run the football, the Broncos could beat the Bills, respectfully. And Sean Payton is conservative enough to consistently run the football, to rely on the run game. He is conservative enough to, if it's working, we're just gonna keep doing it. I think Liam Cohen got too busy and got too pass happy, and he was just like, you know what, we can keep throwing it, but instead of relying on the run game, if the run game's working, Sean gonna just keep running the football.
Secondary's gonna eat.
Okay, I wouldn't hate on
Secondary having a solid year.
I think Ed Oliver's back. That's a good pickup. That's a good addition. Josh Allen didn't even go crazy against the Jags. Texas is interesting. Is JK hurt? Yeah, JK's hurt. JK probably done for the year. I don't think he's coming back. I haven't heard anything about that. I can't recall exactly how well Josh played against the Jags, but yeah, I don't feel like looking it up. But he clutched up at the end. I think at the end of the game, he was like 13 for 14 for 140 something yards and 2 touchdowns. So, he played good when it matters most. So
they have been all year.
I ain't too mad at that.
Oh, no, I like VJ.
I like our two all pros up front.
I like
who's gonna control that run game.
Denver runs a lot of zone. 90+%
One thing
zone.
about VJ, you ain't finna come get off on VJ.
90+% zone, and Trevor Lawrence lit it up. And if he can do it,
Yeah, it might be GG's for the Bills. I can see that. Like just even looking at that one stat right now, and how good the Broncos have played this year overall. 14-3, exceptional record. If it ain't broke, they're not gonna fix it. And if you're gonna let them run the ball, that was the Jags' issue. It was a one possession game. The Jags didn't take advantage of what was given to them. You throwing the ball unnecessarily, and that's an assumption. A safe assumption though. Just looking at the game from a more of a casual perspective, but yeah, I think the Broncos have a better run blocking team than the Jags. They're gonna run on you, and they're not gonna go away from the run like the Jags did.
I thought you were talking about a running back.
There's schemes and there's quarterbacks and all that. Broncos. When he came up there, he did.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, I went back and watched.
You seen a 60-yard pass and a 50-yard pass? He lit it up. He threw a fucking 5-yard out. We missed the tackle. He threw another 5-yard out. We missed the tackle. Then he threw a 7-yard crossing route. We missed the tackle. Like, he ain't really light shit up. We missed tackles. You know what I'm saying? That's what we did.
All I know is that.
It's 160.
If he was referring to the Jags playing the Broncos, yes, they missed tackles, but they were lighting them up. They were throwing to open people, and they were missing tackles. Both things are true. People was for sure getting open.
Yards in there, that's yak yards. That he ain't light up. You know what I'm saying? So
if
you just look at the stats, you may think, oh, Trevor Lawrence went crazy.
Actually, I'm gonna take that back. I'm not gonna say lighten up, but they were getting chopped up. They was getting chopped. That's for sure. Light up is like, 370, 4 touchdowns, no picks, things of that nature. But they for sure got chopped up. It was a little bit surgical. I ain't gonna lie. It was very methodical.
It's a bunch of quarterbacks we praise for yards, and it's a bunch.
But if you watch the game, you would see, oh, that was a missed tackle. That was a 5-yard out that turned into a 60-yard touchdown. Oh, that was another 5.
Yeah.
Stop nobody.
200 a game on. We don't gotta throw the ball again.
But overall defense, they're built.
I was gonna say that, but
like, come on, bro. When you got the worst run defense in the league, you probably gonna have the best pass defense because we come into the game like, all right, let's just tote the bitch all day.
They better run it.
So, Keith,
Better run it.
last night we had that defense versus Aaron Rodgers. And you sat right there yesterday and you'd go on like this, and your head was telling you that defense, right?
But I just knew CJ would come in and some fuck shit was going to happen, which it did.
Okay.
The defense overcame.
All right, so here we go again, because I'm going to put Josh Allen on the same level as the Texans defense as a force of nature, because that's what he is. So now we got Josh Allen versus the Denver defense, and going like this. I'm taking Superman because I think
that's what I'm gonna have to look at the analytics for. You know, how well has Denver defense really played this year? I'm gonna have to look at the details. You know, I know that they've been a top 3 defense this year, widely recognized as that. You know, you could argue where they've been at, but I got to look at the details and then, you know, how they played against certain teams to determine that. But the Broncos offense should be able to score versus the Bills defense. That should not be a huge issue for them. The question is, will the Bills offense be able to score versus the Broncos defense? The Jags shut down the run game for the Bills. James Cook did not get off. The Broncos secondary is better than the we're gonna see. The Broncos secondary is better than the Jags secondary. Now I don't know about their front 7. The Jags did have the best run defense this year, so we'll see.
Your defense is
I'm gonna dive into that in
overrated
the day I do predictions.
I'm gonna say it again. Since the bye week. Okay. I'm gonna prove it. Let me count the ways here. Since the bye week, I saw you go to Washington. I know you watched this game, and
win it on defense.
Yeah, really, because they didn't block Nick Bonito and he tipped the ball.
Well, if they don't block him this week and he tip it, we won it on defense. Yeah.
So I watched Marcus
Broncos lead the league in sacks by a wide margin. That is going to give Josh Allen some problems. That pressure for sure. But I guess I'll look at it now. Where do they rank in terms of run defense? Let's see, run defense. Broncos are number 5 in run defense, according to PFF. So the Jags are number 10 according to PFF. Now, if we look at the actual yards, so they have a good run defense. And again, according to PFF, their run defense is better than the Jags' run defense, which the Jags had a. Let's see. Let's go. Yards per carry. Denver is number 3 in yards per carry, right there with Jacksonville. They both 3.9. That's very, very interesting. So if Denver can shut down a run game and take away James Cook, and they can get a pass rush in, this game is GG's. I'm not gonna lie. This is wraps. Because Jacksonville was able to take away James Cook. And the Broncos are a better team than the Jags. Yards per game, attempts per game. Let's go, yards per game. Oh, Denver is number 2 in run defense. Interesting. In terms of yards. Yeah, man. Yeah. Everything is pointing towards the Broncos winning this right now. It's really nothing in the Bills' favor. I'm not gonna lie. Aside from, I don't know. They got a good pass defense, but the Broncos they're gonna run on them. So yeah, Broncos number 1 defense technically, based off of what they restored ACL. By the way, yeah, this might be wraps, bro. I'm leaning towards the Broncos right now in terms of prediction. I'm leaning towards the Texans versus the Patriots, and I'm leaning towards the Broncos right now. But when I do predictions, we're gonna deep dive on stats a little bit more.
Mariota hang 419 yards on your defense. 419.
That's a lot.
And I'm like, Marcus Mariota did that?
I can respect that. Like, they you know what I'm saying, they look mid versus the Jags, and they look mid versus but respectfully, the Jags receiving core is better than the Bills receiving core. The Jags running backs better than the Bills running backs. The Jags, about it. Play calling better than the Bills play calling, you know. But I think I think everything is based off of matchups, and matchup wise, this is not in the Bills' favor. I'm gonna move on to the next topic. I see a way the Bills win unless the Broncos don't see a way the Bills win. Yeah, unless the Broncos. And again, Sean Payton is not for to turn the ball over. Like he's gonna be conservative. Like if you're going to give him the run game, he's gonna take it, which they're going to give it to him. So I'm not predicting a blowout, but I think this is gonna be as of right now. This looks like a more favorable matchup for the Broncos than the Patriots do for the Texans. Even though I'm leaning towards the Texans right now. I just don't think the Broncos got enough.
Game against a division rival.
Well, I look at him.
Can Sam Darnold play well enough against the 49ers? We're going to see. This is going to be the third time they play this year. This is crazy.
There's 2 games versus San Fran.
Bill's best option is targeting Riley Moss, but with no wide receivers, it's going to be almost negated. Yeah. If you ain't got no real threat, it's GG's, man.
He averaged 174 yards. No touchdowns, 2 fumbles, 1 fumble.
People from the trash on Josh if they lose, even if he plays good. Oh, of course. Just like Herbert. Herbert got trashed on, but Herbert is not as popular, so we're not gonna see the trash as much. Josh Allen way more popular, so we're gonna see more on Josh Allen. If Lamar lost in the playoffs, we would see way more on Lamar, but he got out of there in a regular season, so nobody's worried about him right now. And the way he lost is because of the kicker. So. But y'all know how it goes. Like, people gonna call Justin Herbert trash, even though his offensive coordinator just got fired. People gonna call Josh Allen trash, even though Josh Allen, his team just don't stack well enough against the Broncos. I believe they'll make it a competitive game, but I see the Broncos winning this as of right now. Sam Darnold and the Niners.
1 of 6 in the red zone, 9 of 23 on 3rd down, or 1 on 4th down.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold versus 49ers. His saving grace. Brock Purdy versus Seattle. Average of 202 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 picks. 2 of 6 in the red zone, 11, 27, 3rd down, 2 of 4 on 4th down. So if he plays like that.
He went 20 for 26 versus Denver last year. And they upgraded this year. Yeah, he not doing that this year. If they got film on how they played you, and your team is worse this year, and their team is better this year, wrap it up.
He has a shot, but I got the 49ers. I said it.
This is the most interesting game. Well, I'm not gonna say that because the Texans and Patriots is very interesting. That one's super interesting. But this one is interesting as well.
Yesterday, I was with Lee. Me and Lee.
Yeah, that's right.
49ers. There's just no substitution for experience. They got the pedigree. Most of these guys never been in this situation. Kyle Shanahan touched the playoffs. He going to the NFC Championship. It's just he know how to win games. And Sam Darnold, he gonna have to show me. But versus this team, those were his numbers. That's what we got. It ain't like he played extremely well like Matthew Stafford did versus Seattle. They ended up losing.
Yeah.
When Stafford walked off the field versus Seattle, he did his job. They was winning. The defense didn't stop Sam Darnold. That ain't this situation. Sam Darnold ain't played well neither one of these games. And he got to do it again. Familiarity. They know what to do versus him. They know how to draw it up on offense. Yeah, I don't trust him. I'm going San Fran.
Jay, how you feeling?
I'm a little nervous for Sam. You know, his last playoff game last year at Minnesota, he got sacked 9 times and threw a pick. You know, it wasn't very good. It wasn't a very good outing. They played.
Pats Texans, I've been seeing people say 50-50. It's super 50-50. Like, if you break it down and you take away the regular season, which both teams did really good in the regular season, but if we just look at the playoffs right now, and how the Pats played against the Chargers, I think it's a 50-50 game.
Played the Rams, and they just beat the hell out of them. San Francisco, they beat San Francisco at San Fran. They lost to San Fran at home. So I don't think the home field advantage will play as much of a part as people want to say it will. I do like Coach McDonald. I like Coach Shanahan. This is two well-coached football teams. I'm very concerned for San Francisco and losing George Kittle.
Yeah.
That is a big hit.
That's big, but I'm not gonna lie, they be playing good with Tonjes. Like sometimes they don't even miss a beat, and that's what I like about them. As much as like I could respect Tucker Kraft as a tight end, like I think the reliance on Tucker Kraft was too big for the Packers, and it is still too big sometimes. Like you have so many weapons. Like if the Niners had the Packers receiving core, even the Packers 3, 4, and 5, they would cook with them. I'm not gonna lie. Like you give them Golden, Wicks, and Bo Melton, or maybe I'm missing somebody. Savion Williams. Oh my gosh, they're gonna cook with them for sure. So I think that's one thing that the Niners do. Like even though they miss players, they still run efficient offense, and I like that. Now, the Seahawks defense is very nice, very, very nice. So that's the X factor right there. That defense is an X factor in itself. Tucker Kraft stray. Now it's really more of a LaFleur stray. I think he overvalues Tucker Kraft, and again, there's no hate to Kraft. I think the Niners don't overvalue George Kittle. George Kittle's elite, So I think they figure it out within their system more than anything. Kraft was balling, had bro in fantasy, and they use Kyle just as a tight end, as he is a great receiving fullback. Dobbs, Jaden Reed, and Christian Watson are the 1, 2, and 3, like healthy. So I'm gonna just go, Golden, Savion, Wicks, maybe Bo Melton. We go all 4 of them. I think the Niners would do nice with them personally, but to each his own. I go ahead on my lock, sadly.
In the running game, huge hit. I mean, he's the best blocker.
I do think the Niners play better than last time. You got to learn from your mistakes, and I think this is a good enough coach to learn from his mistakes. He's gonna figure out what they were doing defensively, and he's gonna play better. I'm not picking him to win this game, at least not yet. I'm not picking a winner at all right now. I'm not leaning towards nobody. I'm on the fence, but we'll see.
Football's a tight end, and it's not even close.
Yep.
So that's a huge hit. I think it's going to come down to turnovers. You mentioned before, Purdy threw 3 interceptions in a loss, and Sam only threw 1. Sam's got to avoid the negative plays, avoid the turnovers. Then I think Seattle's defense will hunt, and I think they'll get the victory. So I'm counting on Sam. Based on your playoff experience, you got sacked 9 times. Don't take sacks, throw it away, man. Get to 50%. I don't give a damn what your completion percentage is. Throw the sumbitch away and punt when you have to punt. And then same thing with defense. They'll get after Brock Purdy, hopefully force him into some interceptions and sacks, fumbles. So I'm taking Seattle at home in a close one.
Brock at least got him in the end zone. He didn't get him in the end zone not once, not one time in 2 games. Not once. He didn't get him in the end zone. Brock at least got his team in the end zone twice.
Yeah. I think
I'm counting on Smith and Jigba to do something.
Metal. They're playing in Seattle, so they are not around. What is that electric metal shit that San Francisco is by? So hopefully we won't be having.
This weekend might be better than last weekend. Obviously, these are all more competitive matchups. The only one that I see is just way more favorable as of right now is the Broncos-Bills. But all of these are very favorable. Like, I think the Bears-Rams could be a high-scoring game. That's going to be exciting. 49ers, Seahawks, I think it's going to be, again, low-scoring again, probably again. If not, maybe like in the low 20s. That's going to be competitive. Patriots, Texans, that's going to be competitive. And I think, am I missing one? I don't know. I think that's it. But yeah, I think hopefully we see some good football. Hopefully. Most likely. Very defensive week. Yeah. Broncos good defense, Texans good defense, Pats good defense. Seattle, good defense. Niners, well-coached defense. And Bears, Rams, we're going to see. A good offense for sure, But, with the Rams, it's just going to be, they just got to start hot and stay hot. Don't let up. Don't turn the ball over. And just coast. That's it. Because the Bears going to struggle early, most likely. Unless Ben Johnson start cooking early. But, he ain't been doing that lately, so we'll see.
Nothing torn this week. But Sam Darnold is a guy that he had. Where it's like a guy that he coached. His name is Andy Dalton.
Hey.
And it's the same. It's the same story, my boy. It's the same story.
That's an interesting comparison. Now he played with Andy, so did he not like Andy? I
ain't sold. I ain't sold. When the lights get on, I'm not sold with him. I'm not sold.
I think that's fine to say right now, but I'm not gonna lie. I think Clint Kubiak is kind of getting like as a play caller. I don't want to say exposed, but I think he's kind of getting what's the word I'm looking for? I guess figured out a little bit, just a little bit. I think he's one of the better and one of the best play callers in the league. He's not top 2. You can maybe argue him in the top 3 or top 5. For sure top 10. But I think he's starting to get figured out a little bit. And we'll see. And I think that's the issue right now. And Sam being the quarterback, therefore your plays are getting figured out. People gonna know where you're throwing as a quarterback, and it's gonna make you look a little worse. But I like Sam. I think Sam is a good quarterback. I'm not really taking too much from him, but he's not playing elite this year, but he's playing good. He played good this year, but we'll see. We'll see. Won't mind Clint, head coach, third option. Clint cool, man, and I think he'll evolve as a play caller. I think he's gonna get better. But right now, I just think that I think they're still good, and I think he's still good. But I think it's getting figured out just a little bit, especially by some of these better coaches. Again, they missed field goals versus the 49ers last time. If they would have made them field goals, they would have scored 19 points, and I think that's still a pretty solid job by the Niners defense, but yeah, we're gonna see.
I love it.
And I just feel Shanahan is, if not the best coach in the NFL, him and Kansas City.
Andy Reid.
Yeah.
Andy Reid. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
It just seems like he figured out ways, regardless of who is on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Do we have anybody that can block Milton, Williams, and Barmore? I have no clue. But I'm not worried. When I looked it up, the Steelers actually have a better pass rush than the Patriots. So I'm not worried in terms of that, If they both got 10 plus sacks this year, then I ain't too worried. They're gonna get their pressures, So they good players, they're gonna get their pressures, but we'll see.
How to get it done.
Mm-hmm.
And McCaffrey is he's by far one of the best backs that we done seen over. And
something he don't never do, right?
Never do.
This shit is super even to me. It's a division matchup. They split already. Even matchup like this, I'm going to just go with the experience. The game is bigger now. I'm going to go with the more experienced coach.
I'm genuinely not mad at that. Experience is huge, man. Experience is huge. I'm not mad at that. That's not the sole reason. I'm gonna still need to break it down some more. But because that game was so low scoring last time, I would not be surprised if the Niners flipped the table. Even without Kittle, I wouldn't be surprised. Because if you got a good scheme and you got a good game plan, bro, that's all that matters, especially when it comes to Shanahan. So we'll see. We'll see, because it's not like the Seahawks are unbeatable. They've been beaten, this season multiple times. So we'll see. We'll see. But
more
it's
experienced
interesting.
quarterback. That's who I'm gonna ride with. Seattle got a good ass defense, but San Fran got a good ass defense versus Seattle. You know what I'm saying? So they pretty even in that aspect. So all the big games Sam Darnold played in this year, man, he's trying to give it away. He's fumbling, he's throwing picks, he's trying to give it away. And some of them he overcame it and still won. You're not gonna keep overcoming that shit.
I think that's a play calling issue as well sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I saw Sam do some of the things he did last year. Camera trip. Oh, you know what? Let me turn. I saw Sam do some of the things he did last year with but he had more talent at receiver at that point in time. I don't know. I think everything was more. It is a totally different offense. Totally different. I don't know. At times, I'm going to blame it on play calling, and at times, I'm going to blame it on Sam. But, I don't know.
In these big games. So,
I'm going to dive into that game.
This game, you ass going to give it away. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm going to ride with experience. I think the Niners, whoever on the field, man, we all professionals, man. It's the difference between Lenore and the third corner, it's experience. You know what I'm saying? It ain't too much.
Well, the third corner is a rookie, but I get the point that he's making.
Different. They all pros. He
came off his
off the couch.
You still
We
a pro.
love you.
When he
as long as you still can move, you still a pro.
No, but when he played for Dallas, he was like a flea-bitten dog to me.
Clearly, that was an organizational problem.
Right. I'm riding with experience, man. So I'm for sure riding with San Fran. Darnold got to make me a believer. I don't believe.
Okay.
He's one.
I think I helped teach you that, right?
Yeah, you're the one who's told us it.
He led this league in turnovers this year, and it was the first time a 1 seed has had the league leader in turnovers since 1978. My man Terry Bradshaw and those Pittsburgh Steelers turnovers in the league. That team also was so loaded it went on to win the Super Bowl over my Dallas Cowboys, unfortunately. At the 9-yard line.
I just want to see who he's picking.
He gave, but they just ran wild than you are.
They did that last game, and he still took a snap and stumbled and he fumbled on a handoff.
It sounded like he was going for the Seahawks.
The goofy stuff was 13-3 Seattle. Go ahead, you should argue because I hope you Philly. That was some special stuff, coaching stuff, and it's culture, character stuff. That next man up, you can say it all you want, but until everybody in that locker room believes that the third stringer can play, most teams can't do that. You guys have been around teams where, next man up, we got no shot.
We was in NFC chip with no Stu, no TJ.
Yeah.
Like, we had Kayvon Webster playing Dom. Like, we had all corners out there. There's a lot of teams do it, man. The good ones do it.
Who's your D tackles?
All right, I'm gonna cap it off. Shout out to the arena, man.